And one. What's up, everybody? This is Attack the Talk. I'm your host, AJ, and joining me is the Zach Attack.
Howdy.
Lexi is not here. She is still out over in the Philippines, but she will be back next week. We miss Lex. We hope Lexi is having a great time.
Have a ball out there.
Yeah, and you guys know the drill. You guys know what this podcast is about. It's about One Piece whenever Lexi's not here. That's what it's about. That's what.
This is when we get to run amok.
No,
we even got Chopper here to take your place.
You got Chopper here, but yeah. This is Attack the Talk, so we're going to be focusing on some Attack on Titan, of course. We have a Q&A. We have a poll question.
Yes, we do.
We have a poll question that we asked, and we'll go ahead and we'll see what the results are and all that. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and we'll continue on the story. We'll be focusing on part 2 of our episode breakdown discussion. That will be episode 10 of season 4, A Sound Argument. And this title here says, "Why currently live?" It says, Eren stops caring about Historia. Did Erwin make a mistake? Oh, shit.
Yikes.
We're going to find out about all that. I mean, that's some craziness right there, right? And I'm laughing right now because we have live in chat with us are, of course, our good friends, Tish and Jacob. And I think Tish, since she was the first chatter, does she just have that crown by her name now? Every time she goes out, she will respond in chat. That's crazy. But that's also pretty cool. But yeah, see, there it is again, Tish. I was number 1. Yeah. See, every time she posts, she's gonna get that number 1 right there. That's pretty freaking cool. But I hope you guys are doing well. We had Jacob and Tish, like I said, and LOL. Hey, what's up? We have the Ronnie in chat. What's up, baby? How you doing? And yeah, hopefully you guys are all having a good week. This is like our Friday. Yeah, it is. Tomorrow is the 4th of July. Day. So yeah, same thing for us. Yeah, we got our early 2 work, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool to go out there and just get off work, and then now just trying to go ahead and relax and stuff.
Oh, now you want out.
But I hope you guys have been well. If you guys have done anything cool, let us know. But Jacob seems to have some sort of problem with the Oda. That'd be Master Oda right there. And,
what's your beef, bro?
And Jacob says, so I'm mad at Oda, bro. I can't anymore. What are you mad about?
Without spoiling, let me preface. Without spoiling, like why are you mad at Oda?
I don't like the crown now. That's so crazy. Literally, it is XP. You got XP.
But it's purple.
That's crazy. It says you got 75 XP.
That's so crazy.
That is crazy.
That's a lot of XP.
You know what this is now? Guaranteed, Tish is now going to put an effort to not be number 1. She's not going to be the first chatter going forward now because she doesn't want this attention.
Jacob to get the
they don't want this attention. I feel like Jacob will have no issues at all having that crown next to his name, and that's how it should be. You should have that crown with pride and with honor, and understand that like that makes you like almost like Captain Levi in this chat right now, Tish. Like you are Captain Levi right now. Isn't that crazy to think?
Can I get
Whoa!
XP?
You see that? There's a crown number 2 right there.
I want XP.
That's pretty cool. Jake says, F the world government. Yeah, that's what it is. Wait, there's nothing right there. Absolutely correct. I'm shy. Wait, Jacob has one. That's so cool. And Zach has not received any XP. What is this blasphemy? But real quick, and just I want to acknowledge this. One, Jacob, I hope you are referring to the world government in One Piece.
It's crazy. It didn't give me any XP.
As far as anything political, guys, I think we've just come to realize that this just isn't the platform for it. You know, we want to just talk. We want to talk about Attack on Titan. We want to keep things, you know, kind of positive and stuff and all that. So I hope you're talking about the world government with One Piece.
I'd assume so,
and I hope
honestly, I agree.
Yeah, there it is.
In One Piece,
exactly. But still, Zach hasn't received any XP, which is kind of crazy.
I've given up already.
Yeah.
I get the most XP because I'm here.
I do want to go ahead and say that I kind of surprised Zach today with a little game that we're going to play.
I'm pretty.
And you know what?
Excited.
Actually, I think that our friends can play this as well. I think that maybe we can have
Tish
for them go head to head against
Jacob.
That would be pretty cool.
We'll give them the example, and then we'll draw for them one at a time.
Yeah, I'm gonna take out Akiyuno, myself, and the 5 elders. There you go. Ooh, games. Yeah. So, see what we got here, Tish.
When Lexi's away. When Lexi's away, the mice will play.
You hear that? Can you hear that? You know what that is? That's the sound of paper. Okay.
Ooh,
that's the sound of paper. And you know what's in this?
Dead trees.
Names. Different names. Jeez. Different character names. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna each draft our own One Piece crew.
Ooh,
all right.
We get our own pirate crew.
So, yeah, well, we'll explain it when we do it. But yeah, we're gonna do some fun stuff today, and I want to go ahead and see between me and Zach, who can come up with. And
you guys can vote on who's well. Now we got a poll.
Yeah.
Whose pirate crew wins?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep track of our crew, and then yeah, we're gonna go ahead and post it. We're gonna see what people think as far as what our crew, what it looks like. So there's gonna be certain roles that we're gonna go ahead and draw names. We have to place them in that role, right? I'm sure for people that are like fans of One Piece and on TikTok, there's gonna be obviously many versions of this game and stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And yeah, I think it'd be fun for sure.
You don't just get to pick your character.
No, that's not how it works, Jacob. You don't get to go ahead.
Kid, Zoro, Luffy, Chopper, Law, Shanks. That's my crew.
So this is how it's gonna work, okay? So then I will go ahead and choose for you, Jacob. Okay, you can choose for Tish. All right, and then you both will tell us what role you want the character to go ahead and fall into. All right. I was deranked. What? You did get deranked.
Damn,
what
dude.
the hell? That's crazy. This is gonna be a back and forth. I feel
like he's been chatting less.
It's funny. We're talking about this competitive 1v1 right here between Tish and between Jacob, and all of a sudden there is literally a competitive 1v1 happening in chat right now. That's so. What is happening? Game. That is crazy. Jacob just literally he's earning more.
You can literally see where the crown disappears. Dude, why did he get the number one? When he picked his own team. When he picked his own crew and that gave him the crown. That's crazy.
Whoa, you're right. That is the moment where it changed.
He said it was Shanks. It was Shanks. Wow. That's the common trend here. Wow.
That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah.
No, Jacob, in this case, it's more like this.
There you go.
You got that black beard aspect
he corrected himself. He did.
Dude, oh my god.
That's awesome. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'll keep an eye on all that. But yeah, it'll be a fun thing for us to go ahead and do.
Jacob's using his bots. That's crazy call out.
But we'll go ahead and we'll decide on our pirate cruise in a bit. But
that's so funny.
Yeah, I want to again welcome our friends, and we'll go ahead and we will continue on with all that good stuff. Let's see what else we got going on. Yeah, we'll focus on the episode later on. Like I said, we'll do the poll question, and then we can do our cruise. So, since we're kind of on the topic, I don't know. What do you think? Should we just go ahead and jump into the pirate cruise?
I'm down.
We just fucking do it?
You already got me anticipating it.
Did we just go ahead and do it? All right. So this is again how it's gonna work. We'll have.
I don't know how that mechanic works. How do they get the crown?
I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, oh, mine are in horror farming. That's crazy. But
that's crazy.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll decide between first and foremost Zach and I.
Okay, all right. Who draws
we'll
first?
Go crew versus crew.
Who draws
all right.
first?
So we'll go ahead. We'll do this. We're gonna go like, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
No.
Oh, scissors. You guys saw on camera. All right. So now I get to go ahead and draw first.
No, I'm not winning.
Just so we can go ahead and keep track. All right. As far as the roles that we're going to go ahead and decide on. So we can go ahead and write them down if we want, or if you have.
We can just hold on to our sheets.
Yeah. So
and I think we should keep our crew members out of their draft.
Yeah, definitely. I want to do that too. So I counted them up. There's 47 characters in here. 47, all right? So which means that if one of us choose a badass character, that means that neither Jacob or Tish can have that character.
Yeah. Okay, so I want Shanks.
So you guys are going to be rooting for our demise here.
I want Shanks. No, I hope she gets it.
Shanks is in here. He's in here somewhere out of the 47 names, all right? But me and Zach are going to take turns. So I get first pick, and then I get to decide on the roll. So there's going to be 6 rolls, okay? We're going to start with...
I'm actually going to write down the rolls because I will have to make you repeat them every time.
Yeah. So first roll, of course, is going to be the captain, right? Who's going to be the captain of the crew, all right? And then the second roll we have will be vice captain, you know? And then you have your tank. You're gonna get Oda. That honestly, that would be probably the best name that you can get, but Oda's not in here.
I wish.
And then healer. Okay. And then how many is that? Is that already?
That's 4.
4. So then we'll go ahead and yeah, we'll stick with 3 support. Okay, that's plenty for us here. All right. Well, you just feel the power in this thing. Oh my gosh, just all the powerful characters. Oh my goodness gracious. Crazy. All right. I know, yeah. So again, I let Zach know this, baby, but yeah, so Ronnie in chat says, I wonder who ripped up the little raffle names, all cute, small, and gorgeous. Yeah. So while I was just preparing with doing the little note taking,
guys, give Ronnie XP right now.
I asked Ronnie if she can go ahead and write down all the names that I literally just put in like a notes little like
yeah.
And I sent it to her, and yeah, 47 names, and she went ahead and she wrote them, she ripped them, and she placed them in here.
Appreciate it. We got to get her like an admin icon. We got to figure out how to do that. Maybe we can ask Nate.
Yeah.
Get her a permanent little icon.
That'd be cool. All right, I'm ready to choose. XP, where's my power? All right, and again, just because we have the rolls there doesn't mean that's how the order's gonna fall. We get to choose. Yeah. All right, but we choose on the spot.
Yeah, you have to choose before the other person draws. Yeah, you got to pick the character and the role simultaneously. Yeah.
Ooh, my
Otherwise, you can just put them wherever you want.
So many names. They're all folded up. I can't see any of the names.
Quit looking down at the tin. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's like, which one's the one that Ronnie folded in the specific way?
I pulled one. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close it up so you can give it a shake.
All right.
Now, here, I can just throw it. Now, the first name I got... No fucking way.
You did not get Shanks.
No fucking way.
You did not get Shanks off rip.
I swear on everything. That says Shanks. That says Shanks.
Guys.
Oh my god. What?
First pick.
What? I got Shanks.
Okay, so what's his role for you?
See if you guys can go ahead and... I want evidence. I want clear and
I saw it.
Evidence.
I can verbally confirm.
Evidence. I want it.
Here. Let me put it in front of Lexi.
No, you can just gonna keep it or what?
He knows me too well. Happy as long as Jacob didn't get it. That's
there you
crazy.
go. All right, so I have Shanks, and Shanks will be my captain. I respect Shanks.
Captain
Shanks
role?
is my captain. So immediately right off the gate, I got my captain. Let's go.
Hold up. I saw a name for one, and I want to fold it more. I lost it. Doesn't matter. I already lost it. I want this one. This one called to me.
What did you get? Did you get a name? I want it to be competitive.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Oh, you almost had it.
Oh, shit, bro. There's no fucking way I just pulled this first pick. That's fucking nuts.
You almost had it, too.
You're fucked.
We can't see it, the suspense.
Come on. I'm not going to say it. I'm going to let the camera take it.
You're going to build this up with all this suspense?
Okay. He's worth it. Boom.
What does that say?
Goldie Roger.
Oh, he's dead, bro.
Fuck you. Hey, he's the Pirate King.
Damn, you got Goldie Roger?
Yeah, off rip. Yeah, you got Shanks off rip.
Yeah.
What?
So, damn, we're off to a freaking crazy start right now.
Okay, look, because I already knew where I was going to put him, because I always put him in this spot. He's my vice captain, because he's dead.
Okay, so you're going to go...
He's not the future.
You're going to put Goldie Roger over...
He's my vice captain.
That tin.
And I think the future, because obviously our captain is going to need to be better than Goldie Roger. I need my captain to be better.
Okay.
Then what better mentor could you have in your corner?
Right. You know what's crazy is that literally we're pulling characters right now that are fucking
What's crazy is Jacob and Tish can't get him anymore.
They can't get him.
Damn, we took out two of the biggest contenders. Let me write that down.
All right. Next name I'm gonna pull.
I'm gonna put emoji because he's just the goat. I'm gonna put the crown.
I have a name. Haven't seen it yet. I'm closing the tin. Come on, give me something good.
I'm kind of scared now.
Ooh. Okay. I got Bartholomew Kuma.
No fucking way.
I got Kuma.
No fucking way.
I gotta think about where to put him because I haven't seen his story yet. Ah, shit.
Dude, the backstory's not even done yet.
So I got Bartholomew Kuma, excuse me. And
fuck, you got a buccaneer, bro.
I want to put him as, I want to respect him. He's not just a support character. I'm going to put him as my tank.
That is like a solid tank, bro.
So put him as my tank. Cut the cameras. It's Eren getting rumbled. Stay humbled. All right. Here you go, Zach. Ready?
Toss me. I'm writing your team down too, just so I can.
Yeah. If you could, that'd be great.
So I can stare at it when I obviously just stump you.
Well, we got to see who you select right now.
I'm actually scared now. I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna get like.
The stakes get crazier the more names you get. Uh-oh.
Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. I got my captain. I'm not. That's where he's going. He's my captain. There's no better captain in the world.
Who is it?
Monkey D. Luffy.
Damn.
Dude, no way.
Wow.
Hey. Bro, I'm so sorry.
These are so
crazy. I got the
crazy
Pirate King and
right
the
now.
future Pirate King.
Wow. Emu's not in this pin. Give him Wapple. Wapple's not in here either.
Wapple is a crazy pick. That's nuts. That's nuts. Glory be to God. Giving me the best team ever. Putting him in all caps. Monkey D.
That's crazy.
Luffy.
That's the pull right there.
I got the two. Dude, I got the old Pirate King and the new Pirate King back to back, bro.
All right.
That's nuts.
I have another name.
Okay.
This one is... Ooh, okay. I have Don Quixote.
No, that's
Doflamingo. And I don't know where to put this guy. New Pirate King. When did you pull Buggy?
Fuck off.
Yeah, so Shanks is my captain. Kuma is my tank.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm just going to put Doflamingo as a support character. You know, he's on the support. I can't trust him for heal.
Fuck no.
I don't want him to be my vice captain. And if this bites me in the ass and so on and then whatever.
Dude, I can't. My team just slaps your team right now. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know.
I got your vice captain. No, I got your captain's captain.
We'll let
That's my vice captain.
We'll let people go ahead and decide.
Your captain's captain is my vice captain. No! Why did you speak it?
Oh, what? Did you get Buggy?
Ain't no fucking way you guys are speaking this shit into existence. Buggy the Clown.
You got Buggy? Let's go.
No way. Ain't no fucking way. You guys just cursed me. You guys just cursed me with Buggy. What the fuck?
Oh, wow.
You know whose Buggy's gonna be? I kind of want to give him Tank just because he has a chop fruit and he's like an awoken chop fruit.
Manifestation.
It's kind of scary in my eyes. But he hasn't awoken yet. So Buggy's going straight to support. He's my leader of the support crew.
All right.
Ain't no fucking way I just got Buggy the Clown. I'm gonna call him Buggy D Clown. And just so you guys know, that's actually a foreshadow. I'm waiting for it to happen.
Oh, you're waiting?
I'm waiting for us to get...
manifesting that?
I'm manifesting Buggy D Clown.
I gotta go ahead and receive something.
Oh, is it time? It's time to watch your favorite UFC champion get knocked out first round. Guys, I want to make a public service announcement. Thoughts and prayers go out to my boy Charles. Good props for Ilya. He really is probably one of the GOATs. If not the GOAT. Undefeated, 2 division weight champ. Come on. But like Charles, my boy Charles, oh, it really hurt me. Oh, it really hurt me. Like my heart hurts right now thinking about Charles getting knocked out. I got goosebumps. I genuinely, let me see if I can show you guys. No, they're gone. I got goosebumps thinking about it, and it really just like strikes my heart. I was telling them I had a public service announcement about Charles Oliveira. Oh. And how my heart is genuinely like shattered into a million pieces right now.
The scary part about it is that it was the day before when they stood over on stage. I think it was the weigh-in.
Yeah, when they had the face-off, and he was like, I respect you.
Yeah, he's like sorry for what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
He's like, and then Charles goes, "Nah, I'm ready for it." Not even the night. He just goes, "I'm ready for it."
Let's just put on a good fight.
Yeah, first round.
First round.
Thank you, King. My bad. I shouldn't call you that. I have 2 kings, and then I have the court jester on my team.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We are not sponsored, but hey, Taco Bell.
If you want it.
Hit us up, bro.
All right, and then
Buggy could have been cool, but Shank's better. You guys summoned him. Hey,
what I saw...
just tell me Wapple is not in this pick list, bro. No. Thank you, God. I would have been so mad if that was my next pick.
I think for the most part, every character is respectable.
Okay.
Okay, cool. There might be maybe some that can maybe
another role.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to propose?
Sniper. Every crew's got a sniper.
Well,
hey, it's the luck of the draft, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
There's plenty of names.
Well, should we remove a support and then put that as a sniper then?
I agree.
So 2 support and then just 1 sniper?
Yeah.
All right. I don't think I would have used any of these characters as a sniper anyways. I mean, I was
That's what makes it fun.
but like Doflamingo is... All right, I'm ready.
Go for it.
This one was calling to me. It was saying, "Don't take me," and so I just reverse psychology.
The papers are psyching you out. So you getting scared now? You got a couple beads of sweat dripping from your brow?
Oh,
no fucking way.
I found my healer. I found my healer.
Who's your healer?
This says Trafalgar D. Law.
Are you kidding me?
Law.
The best.
Let's go.
OP, know me.
I got Law. That's my healer. I got my healer.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Ready?
That's a crazy.
Good luck, bro. Good luck.
Okay, now I might have a little more issue putting y'all down. What if I get Kaido right now?
Oh, Kaido's in there.
There's 2 in here. I took the one that I saw the letters for first.
What was that look? It was a look and it wasn't even... What does that say?
It's you, bro. I always say this character is AJ. Come on.
Did you get your sniper?
No.
Oh.
Come on.
The suspense.
I had it.
The suspense. Brooke? Oh, you got Brooke. Okay.
And you know what?
Ace?
You know what?
Ace would be cool.
You know what? I'm not going to spoil nothing for you, but there's a lot of theory right now. I'm just going to say this. Soul King. And there's a lot of funny business going on in the One Piece world right now. So
where are you putting him?
He's still gonna be support. The fuck? He's still gonna be my other. He's gonna be playing music while Buggy's jesting on our crew. We're gonna have the best morale. Do you think I got Brooke and Buggy? I got a clown and the world's greatest musician on Monkey D. Luffy and Gold Roger's crew.
You guys are gonna have fun for sure.
Dude, Brooke was like, "Oh, I remember a rookie named Goldie Roger." Dude, oh, Timmy Jimmy crossover is gonna go crazy. Best post island saving party with my crew. With my crew by far.
Honestly, I might need some sort of like excitement, some sort of, you know, just to help with the morale. I feel like I have a lot of...
You've got all the quiet guys.
Yeah.
You got Shanks, who's like probably the most goofy one. You got Law. You got Kuma.
And then I got Dofi.
Holding his Bible.
Dofi.
And Dofi. Hey, with Kuma, Are we talking free will or non-free will Kuma? Because I want to hear some dun 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 dun.
I don't know.
That would give
I haven't
you the
seen
morale
any of that,
boost. You're gonna get there. You're gonna get there.
All the introverts make sense.
Our teams reflect us.
Literally.
Our teams reflect us. This is so funny.
So crazy. All right. So I still need a vice captain. I need a sniper.
You need a vice captain, a sniper.
A tank, right? No, not a tank. I have my tank. I have
You
my
have
healer. So
vice captain, sniper, and another support. You have 3 left.
okay. All right. Choose this one.
If you could pick one character off the top of your head, who would it be right now?
I don't know. I'd have to think about it as far as what I have available right now, you know? Like, ooh. This is an interesting name. I got Kuzuki Odin. Damn. All right. Well, he's going to be my vice captain.
That's a solid vice captain.
So I got Odin.
Holy shit. That's a good pick, man.
All right. Cool. I'll take that.
Hey, Odin is best cooked. Boiled.
Oh, fuck you, dude. Hey, it was very, very admirable what he did.
He's a tough dude. He stood in that oil for a minute.
Yeah. All right, bro. Ready?
Oh, I'm so sorry. You put food in front of me. I can't multitask with food.
Captain, tank, healer, support. All right, so I need my sniper and a support.
What do I need right now? I need my other 3 roles. Tank, healer, sniper. No. Where do I put you? Where do I put you? You're so cool, but where do I put you? Bro, we're getting the gang back together.
What is it? What does it say?
Where's Rayleigh?
What?
We're getting the gang back together.
Damn.
Holy shit.
Okay.
He's got to be my tank, because he's motherfucker ain't no sniper. That's for sure. Come on. I don't want papers flying everywhere.
All right.
He's for sure my tank, because Rayleigh can hold down the fort. That's crazy. Okay, now just give me Ben Beckman.
Who's left? Carrot? No, there's still quite a few names in here. Still quite a few names. Okay, I'm gonna do this.
Oh, Eddie's here. Eddie, that is Chopper. Sorry, we are so distracted with this game.
Eddie's here. Is that Chopper? Yes, it is. What's up, Eddie?
We're drafting our own One Piece teams.
Yep. All right. I have this name. Oh my gosh. What do I have left? Sniper and support?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, I got somebody to lighten up the mood.
Oh, yeah?
I got Bon Clay.
Oh, Bon-chan!
He's gonna annoy the fuck out of everybody else over on this crew.
That is so fucking great.
All right, well, he's gonna be my last support, which means the only one I have left is a sniper, and I really hope that
your 2 supports are Doffy and Bon Clay. Yeah. The 2 most polar opposite people. Oh, right. Wow. I bet they're funny to watch interactions go down.
I'm not mad about it at all.
Jacob, you wanna have a team who supports slavery? What do you say? Akainu, yeah, Kuzan, Kizaru, Green Bull, Garp, Kuzan. Kobe. Hey, Kobe does not support slavery. I'm just aura farming with him. Sweet Bon. Okay. What do I have left? Sniper and healer. Mm-hmm. Bro, my team does not have any. My team is fucking scrapping. We're playing music and scrapping.
Uh-oh.
I can get this. It's a short name, as you can tell.
Very, very short. And who's a scrapper?
Our other protagonist in my eyes.
Oh, interesting.
Kobe.
Oh, you got Kobe?
I got Kobe.
Damn.
Kobe I'm actually going to put as my healer.
Okay.
Because Kobe is in the Marines. He probably knows first aid for the most part.
I mean, I think in comparison to the other characters you have, he's probably the only one that would really give a shit.
And now, my healer can fucking scrap.
True.
And we haven't even seen Kobe at his full potential yet.
Yeah, my healer can scrap too.
Your healer throws down, bro. Your healer slices and dices.
Here we go. The last one. He'll bring peace, definitely.
This is your sniper.
It's my sniper. All right, I got a name. Oh, no. Not a good sniper.
Is it Zoro?
Chopper, you'll appreciate this name. Dr. Kureha? Is that how you say her name?
Kureha, yeah.
So
he would have been a fire healer.
She ain't sniping for shit.
Fun fact, it's theorized that she's a dual weapon wielder because she always has 2 swords, 2 glaives. She has 2 sais on her wall.
Okay. Well.
So, and she's speculated to be the mother of, I'm forgetting his name. He's on Roger's crew. Why am I forgetting his name?
They're in the same room. Expected. Hey, we got Omar. Omar got. He received the number 3 crown. What?
That's so quick.
That is crazy. Well, what's up, man? We're just drafting our One Piece crew right now.
Whatever. Scopper Gabon. She's suspected to be the mother of Roger's.
How did Omar get
Roger's 3rd best crew member.
Okay.
So, little lore there. Okay, I've got a name.
Yeah, so your last is gonna be
This is my also my sniper?
Yeah, sniper, right?
Yeah, this is my sniper.
Okay.
Gadi Usopp.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. I got someone to match your Bon Clay. They're gonna have a freak off.
Oh shit.
What is that? Emporio Ivankov.
Oh, okay.
We both got a Kamabaka. That's so funny.
All right.
Remind me, your sniper was again.
Yeah, Dr. Kureha. So.
That's so crazy.
I don't know if she's going to be sniping much, but hopefully.
I feel like she'd be a good shot.
Don't have to worry about that.
I got Emporio Ivankov.
All right, so a quick review. All right, so.
Deathwing goes crazy.
My captain is Shanks.
Yep.
My vice captain is Kozuki Odin.
Tough.
My tank is Bartholomew Kuma.
Amazing tank.
Healer is Trafalgar D. Law.
Awesome healer.
And then my sniper is Dr. Kureha. Mm-hmm. The compliment stopped there, right?
Yep. Yep. Hey,
and then my
she's still a goat. She's still. Do you want to know the secret to why I live so long? She's or whatever in female voice. She's old as hell, bro.
Old as hell. And then my 2 support are Don Quixote do Flamingo and Bon Clay. Solid team. Solid team.
That is a very solid team. I'll get my papers lined up too.
And then you want to go ahead and tell us your crew?
So my captain. Oh, captain, my captain. Monkey D. Luffy. Mm-hmm. So I got main character energy.
Yeah.
My vice captain, his mentor, one might say, is the previous Pirate King, Gol D. Roger.
Okay.
My tank is Gol D. Roger's right hand. Silver's Rayleigh.
Okay.
My tank. No. I have these backwards. No, Silver's Rayleigh is my tank.
Yeah.
My healer is Kobe.
Okay.
Hero of the Marines. My sniper is Emporio Ivankov, ruler of Kamabaka Island, user of the Death Wink. So there's our snipe shot right there. My first support, funniest man around, wielder of the chop chop fruit, Buggy D. Clown. Calling it now. And my other support character is gonna bring the good tunes that just shake your soul. We got Brooks, the Soul Key.
There you go. Yeah, well, we got the first vote right there. Just said, AG, your crew is washed. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
You know what? The thing is, I think the crew will go ahead and put up a hell of a fight. All right?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I mean, I'm not mad about my crew here.
You have
I feel
a
like we got some
solid lineup.
powerhouses here. We got some literally warlords here, right?
Yep,
Like,
we do. You literally have Law and Kuma and Doffy.
Kuma, Doflamingo, yeah, and then, you know, Shanks just does his
Bon
thing.
Clay might as well be a warlord.
Why the hell does everyone have crowns? That's a good question. Honestly, we were just as surprised as everybody else. So
everyone's got XP for something.
they're receiving XP for whatever reason. I don't know.
Game over. Oh, that's so mean, Jacob.
Yeah.
Spamming the game overs. AJ is not caught up on the manga.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it if you want, but yeah, I'm not caught up. I need to see Kuma's arc. Actually, you start first.
Oh,
you're gonna be now drafting for Tish. All right, so Tish
gets to go first because she got the #2 crown.
Tish, you're gonna have to let us know. All right. So you are gonna go ahead and decide which role you want the character to go ahead and take. So,
I'm feeling
first name for Tish.
Tish wants this one. Tish got Smoker.
Smoker
Smoker's your first pick. What role would you like to assign
Tish also says cannot talk about the manga because Tish is not caught up.
If you want, Omar, my Instagram is ROSSZZAC. You can talk to me about manga all you want in the DMs, brother. I'll gladly entertain.
There you go. All right, Tish. So you have your captain, vice captain,
Smoker
tank,
support.
healer. Oh, smoker support. Okay, perfect. Zach, I'm going to write it down. I don't know if you want to also somehow keep track of your notes there. We'll also let you know as far as what you have left. But smoker is support. Interesting. All right. Dreaded on. Jacob, you ready? First character for Jacob. I think I got one name there. Two names. So I'm going to put this one away. Alrighty. Ooh, Jacob, you might like this one. First name for you, Jacob, is Eustace Kid.
Oh, no fucking way you gave this dude Kid.
So
ain't no way you just
Jacob,
gave this dude Kid.
You let me know where you want Kid to go ahead and be. All right? And be quick about it. I know you're there listening. Tank. All right. So
Kid
is Tank.
Pretty solid tank.
Kid goes useless captain mid.
This the shit talk begins.
I love it.
Hey, Smoker does not suck, okay? We don't even know what he's gonna be like endgame. I feel like he's gonna be a pretty vital part. Okay, Tish's... No fucking way. Tish's second pick is Rora Noah Zoro.
Oh, Rora Noah Zoro.
You got Zoro.
Okay.
So I have a feeling Zoro's gonna be vice captain. That's just my gut instinct.
No influence here.
No influence. But who?
So Tish.
Where else you gonna put him? You know?
Hey, she has a tank. You never know. But no influence here. Oh, there she said, my VC, please.
Yep. I saw it coming from a mile away. I feel like that's the proper spot for him.
All right. See what we got here, Jacob.
Useless captain mid.
All right. See who this is.
Oh no.
All right. I don't know how you're gonna feel about this one, Jacob. You decide where you want.
Loyal racist is crazy.
Rob Lucci to be.
Remember when I said earlier that I saw one because it unfolded? It was Rob Lucci.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And I was like, should I just pick it? And I was like, no, I can keep picking.
So, Jacob, think about it. You have Kid as your tank. All right.
I'm glad someone got him. He needs love.
Captain. Okay. Rob Lucci is captain.
Crazy. That's crazy work, Jacob.
All right. Rob Lucci is the captain.
My bad. Toss me. Rob Lucci captain is kind of wild.
Maybe he's onto something. Never know.
I mean, he is leader of the greatest hidden government organization of all time. Besides Sword. Okay, Tish, you're third. You got... No fucking way. You got Sanji.
Sanji.
We should have put Cook as instead of Sniper.
I guess, but what other cooks?
I mean, we can just... I think it'd be funny. Who knows? See if someone could whip it up. Imagine Buggy as my cook. Dices all the fruit perfectly. Or all the food. Look at that amazing catch.
Where are you going to put Sanji at, Tish?
I consider... I'll wait till she gives an answer before I say my statement. Your second support.
Second support. Okay.
I would have put Sanji as a healer because we've seen food heal people in One Piece numerous times.
Interesting.
That's where I would have thrown him. No, I'm sorry. You locked it in. No changing now.
Locked in.
Second support, Sanji. First support, Smoker. Vice Captain, Zoro.
All right, Jacob. Here we go. Let's see if we can go ahead and find something good. We have here, Jacob. Oh, shit. Charlotte Linlin.
Oh, no fucking way. He got Big Mom.
You got Big Mom.
Oh, shit.
So where do you want to put Big Mom?
Kid's looking like a pretty useless tank right now, isn't he, huh?
Hey, he's just there to go and talk shit.
He is.
Charlotte Linlin. That's an interesting one. Where's Big Mom going to be? Vice Captain. Okay.
Okay.
Solid. So far, a cannibal. Literally. So far, Jacob, you still need healer, sniper, and 2 support.
Yep.
All right.
I almost pulled the Lex and dropped my phone. Okay, Tish, this one. Shit.
Oh no.
She got a Kainu.
She got.
Got a Magma Man.
Wow. Okay.
He wants the young Big Mom. So you got a Kainu, you got Lava Man. So I know you probably just want to throw him in the trash, but Tank got you.
Tank.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid tank right there.
Mm-hmm.
I should toss this over to you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's how this works, right? Left hand. Good toss. So Tish still needs a captain, a healer, and a sniper.
Ooh. All right. Let's see what we got here, Jacob.
None for you. I'll happily take him.
Booyah. This character is... Oh, I think Jacob's gonna be happy about this one.
Oh, yeah?
Monkey D. Garp.
Oh, shit!
Oh.
Tish, it got really dire for you right now. That one, look, the Big Mom thing, I think Zoro and Sanji could handle. Garp? Fuck.
All right.
Fuck.
Jacob, where do you want to put Garp? You have...
That's tough one. That's a tough loss for you right there.
You have healer, sniper, and 2 support. Support. Good choice. Damn. Okay.
Jesus. You know what? And that's a pretty solid support right there.
Yeah.
Ow. Okay, Tish. Let me see if I can get you something nice right here.
What does Tish have left?
Tish
goes Garp as
Captain?
support?
I mean, hey, that's a killer support right there. She has captain, healer, sniper.
All right.
Let's see if we can get you a solid sniper. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
She says, Zach, can you sprinkle a little goodness, please?
You know what? I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of snow on this one.
Oh, snow.
Cause you got
snow.
You got. Hello. Hello.
A little bit of snow.
Kuzan.
Oh,
Aokiji.
okay. You got Aokiji.
You got Aokiji. So you got Elsa from Frozen.
There you go.
But way cooler looking in my opinion. Hello.
So where are you gonna put Kuzan?
Where you putting our favorite snowman? Sprinkled a little bit of snow on this one for you. That's a pretty solid pick. I mean, I don't know if you see it, but we see a little bit of action in the recent episodes with him.
Omar says, which version of Garp? I mean,
I say we do current anime, just because that's where we know everyone is caught up, or at least for the most part. No.
Sniper for Kuzan.
That's a good spot. I'd 100% agree. That's a good spot, bro. What are you gonna get? Fucking, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. Lightman.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's in here too.
Adam Sandler.
Isn't it start with a K as well too? Kuzan and I'm blanking.
Kizaru.
Yeah, there it is.
Kizaru.
Yeah.
You're gonna get Kizaru next.
Okay, I got a name.
So right. Jacob has healer, sniper, and a second support left.
That would be right. Oh shit.
Oh man. Oh man.
Edward Newgate.
Fuck!
You got Whitebeard. You got Whitebeard. Just already admitting defeat. To go, I'm gonna lose to Jacob, and it sucks. Edward Newgate. So where is Whitebeard gonna go?
Healer, sniper, support, Jacob.
Healer, sniper, support.
Wrap it up. Hey, you still got a captain and a healer left.
That's sniper.
That's crazy work.
So there we go. Got sniper.
That's crazy work. I would have put him as another support. You realize he has to do long distance attacks. I guess he has the Quake.
Man.
I guess he does. Oh shit. Hey, this might change things.
Hey, Tish needs something here.
This might. Okay, just think about. I'm gonna show this to you guys. Just think about the power.
So Tish says, if you pull a good one, I'll bake you cheesecake. Cheesecake is on the line right here.
Fuck. That's a good reason. I think this deserves me some cheesecake. You got...
What does that say?
Boa Hancock.
Boa Hancock.
And just so we know, Jacob has 1, 2, 3, 4 men on his team.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
They seem like they might be a little horny. Just saying.
I'm trying to think of who would be the one to do that.
I think for sure Kid falls for it. Garb for sure falls for that shit. Garb for sure. And I feel like Whitebeard low-key does too.
I thought that said Wobble.
No.
It just says healer.
Healer? That's a solid healer.
All right, so Jacob's like, he has healer and support left.
Yeah.
All right.
Boa Hancock. That's crazy. Both these teams are nutty in their own respect.
All right, here we go.
Oh, trust me. All the boys on your team will be healed. They will be... Sanji is going to go crazy. Sanji's going to put in crazy work now. You just got a Sanji buff right there.
Oh, I think this is definitely going to go ahead and be good for Jacob here. Oh, Jacob has a support and a healer left. And Jacob got... Tony Chopper.
Oh, ain't no fucking way. He's going in healer. I don't even need to ask him.
Chopper.
I don't even need to ask.
Tish says, not worthy of cheesecake, but you'll get a cupcake and Dr. Pepper. Hey,
the Dr. Pepper's worth more than cheesecake. I already knew, Jacob. You didn't need to tell me.
And Omar says, Hancock is dangerous and should not be underestimated. Even Teach was very careful with her. True.
Exactly.
And guess what? Teach is still in here. And you know what I think we should do? Omar, since you're here, whatever his name's left, I think we'll go ahead and we'll
draft a team for Omar,
We'll draft a team for you too, Omar. Tish says, he took my son. Sorry, Tish, but...
He's holding him hostage, just like Foxy's crew did.
Yeah. No, Foxy is not in there.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it yet, but I pulled it. It's upside down.
And you're pausing, and there's a hesitation. I don't think this is good, right?
Fuck, this is your captain, man.
This is captain?
This is all she has left is captain.
Whoa!
But honestly, with a name like, with a first name like this, that's a hopeful captain. Let's just pray he's a hopeful captain.
This is gonna be interesting here because I feel like captain kind of just sets the tone.
Yeah, well, he's definitely not a captain in the show.
Oh no.
Definitely not a captain in the show. But it's so funny that we just brought up Marshall D. Teach.
Oh, is this going to be somebody affiliated with him?
Yeah, we're going to do this. It's so funny that we brought up Marshall D. Teach. Because you just got... It's Burgess. Jesus?
Oh, Jesus Burgess?
Jesus Burgess, but it's Jesus Burgess.
Interesting. All right, well, there's your captain right there.
Damn. You got a meathead as your captain. You're telling me that Burgess is leading Roronoa Zoro, Akainu, Boa Hancock would never follow a man.
Nope.
Kuzan, Smoker, and Sanji.
Damn. Well, can I go home? All right, so last pick here. This is going to be Jacob's support. And you know what, Jacob? Kudos to you, man. You stuck true to your board here. I feel like support is a good place to kind of just be for final pick.
Yeah.
Because support, I mean, that's pretty neutral.
They just do what they got to do. They do what they're told.
Got a name here. And we still got quite a few names. So, Omar in chat, let us know if you want us to go ahead and draft your team real quick. And you just tell us on where you want to go ahead and place them. All right. Jacob's support. Ooh. You know what? I like this. Because you have Whitebeard. Your support is Marco the Phoenix.
Oh, shit.
So there you go. Marco the Phoenix.
That's a solid roster, man.
So, just to go ahead and do a little review. Jacob's captain is Rob Lucci.
Yep.
Vice captain is Charlotte Linlin.
Crazy.
All right.
That's crazy work.
Tank is Eustace Kidd. Healer is Tony Chopper.
Best healer in the verse.
All right. Sniper is Edward Nugget. Right? Nugget.
Nugget. Edward Nugget.
Nugget. Whitebeard. Your support, right? First support is Monkey D. Garp. And then your final support is Marco the Phoenix.
That's nutty.
Zach, why do you hate me?
And going up against that team with Tish is Captain Jesus Burgess, Vice Captain Roronoa Zoro, Tank Akainu, Healer Boa Hancock, Sniper Aokiji Kuzan, Support Smoker, second support Sanji.
Wow. Well, I feel like Tish can definitely do some rearranging.
Yeah.
You know what, Tish, you chose.
I lost to Jacob and he's CPS.
You chose. Zach just picked the players. You chose the roles. So, yeah. Jacob goes, I love you guys, man. I love my picks. Your picks are solid, man.
Bro had the heart of the papers in him.
There you go. So, Omar, you haven't told us if you want us to go ahead and select a little team for you. There's still quite a bit of characters in here. But, yeah, just let me know.
There's more than enough for him.
But, yeah, solid. All right, his fingers are full of betrayal.
I still get cupcake, right? I still get Dr. Pepper.
And then, yeah. So if we're done here, then maybe we can go ahead and move on to the
poll.
To the poll question.
Q&A.
Yeah.
Poll.
But yeah, Omar, you just let us know.
Damn.
There's some names in here still, though.
Oh, I'm sure there's some big names in there, man. Omar, the papers are calling your name, bro.
Yes, you get Dr. Pepper, but it's gonna be hot.
Ew.
Omar says, no, I will just watch. Okay. Sounds good.
You don't want to end up like Tish. I'm sure I understand. Or AJ against my crew.
Well, I mean, I feel like my crew, again.
You do have a solid crew. I think your crew mollywops the shit out of Tish's and Jacob's crew, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I like that it's like yours and mine would be competitive.
Yeah.
All right? It would be competitive.
Jacob's got a gnarly lineup minus Kid, bro.
Jacob's lineup is pretty good.
Jacob's got a gnarly fucking lineup minus Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it. Kid ain't useless captain mid, bro.
Okay. And if anybody else, so we have enough names for one more team. So if anybody who hasn't got their team drafted wants to, like Bobby, I don't know if Bobby's still in chat.
If anybody wants a pirate crew,
yeah,
hey, price of free 99, bro.
Omar says, I'm sorry, but let me do this. I'll just no. Hey,
you're good,
Omar,
brother.
You're good, man. No worries at all. I know you were engaging in chat with the One Piece talk. I didn't know if you wanted to go ahead and participate in that, but yeah, no pressure, bro. You don't have to worry about drafting your team. Yeah, good stuff. Awesome. Yeah, it'd be fun to go ahead and don't let Zach pick though.
Fuck off, dude. Hey, if my fingers are so unlucky, how do I get both Pirate Kings? Let's be real here. First 2 rolls, bro.
Should we do this? Since there are some names in here, if there is. Should we give it an opportunity to choose one person to replace if we want to? It's given an option.
We get one extra roll. How about
one?
You guys down for that? You guys down for that?
Roll. Okay.
You could replace one character with one pick.
Exactly.
Would you like to start off, my good sir? Or do you want me to go so you can plot against me and whatever I might?
You know what I'm gonna do?
I like my team, man.
I'm gonna go ahead and just try to see if I can press my luck a little bit on a sniper. All right.
Fair. That's fair.
So I have Dr. Kareha. All right. And no disrespect to Dr. Kareha. You know, hey, she's done a magnificent job taking care of 2020 Chopper. You know, but I think that I'm going to go ahead and kind of take a little chance there. All right. And then think about it. Think about it here. All right. So, Jacob, you got your team. You can go ahead and change any of them.
Fingers yourself.
Completely up to you. And then, Tish, if you want, you can go ahead and
Tish is gonna want
choose a little change here.
Tish is gonna want.
But you have to change. You have to swap out the character and the role, right? So I'm swapping out Kareha. So I don't think she needs to be my sniper. And Jacob says yes, please. So who are you gonna go ahead and swap out, Jacob?
Who are you trashing, bro?
I don't know why. I should have just stuck to. I just stuck in my crew. Shit.
You're gonna get Helmeppo.
I don't even know if Helmeppo's in here.
He probably did not make the list.
So this would be my new sniper.
Marshall D. Teach.
Got a donut.
Oh fuck!
I got Porcus D. Ace as my new sniper. And you know what? I'm cool with that.
Hey,
I'm cool with that.
Fireballs for days.
I like it. I got Ace now as my sniper. That was my one change. All right. And Jacob goes, I love Kid, but like he didn't tank that divine departure. So Tish goes, can I clear them all? No, you only choose one, Tish.
Bro, so he did not tank that shit. Bro is probably at the bottom of the sea right now.
So Jacob, you're going to go ahead and swap out Kid for a different tank? Is that what you're doing? I need a confirmation here before I go ahead and pull. So you said yes, please, but I want to know for sure that Kid is the one that you want to go ahead and change. All for one?
All for one is still a better option than Kid.
Okay, there's confirmation.
Okay, trash Kid.
So
cast him to the wolves.
Uses Kid, bottom of the ocean.
Damn. Lost to eternity.
And then Tish wants to swap
Captain Burgess.
All right. Got a name right there. So this is your new tank. All right, Jacob, your new tank is...
Oh, fuck. Big upgrade?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
Tish, I'm so sorry.
Tish, there's no chance. Your captain is not changing at all because Jacob's new tank is your former captain's captain.
No fucking
Jacob
way.
got Marshall D. Teach. Holy shit. Damn, I'm jealous. God damn,
Bro,
Jacob.
How did he... We made him do the laugh earlier, too.
Yeah, what?
Oh, my God, bro.
Okay, oh my God, your team's fucking solid. Damn. Well, there it is. So again, Jacob, your team is Captain Lucci, Vice Captain Big Mom, Tank is freaking Teach.
Toss me that tin, bro.
Your healer is Chopper. You got Whitebeard as your Yeah, Whitebeard's your sniper, and you got Garp and Marco the Phoenix as your support. God damn.
You stole my crown.
That is crazy. Okay, literally.
Tish.
Wait, yeah, Tish stole it back. Tish has the #1 ranking right now for that XP. So maybe that's a good sign here, Tish. Maybe that means you're about to go and get a good captain.
I'm putting some good juju over here.
We'll see. Who's gonna be Tish's new captain?
Son of a bitch. It's a small name. No, okay, it's bigger.
Uh-oh. Good?
Hey, this is
better?
Solid reply.
Okay, better. All right, better.
It's leader. This is also a captain.
Okay, so you have a captain.
But he's also the only Yonko left.
What? Who is it?
Kaido.
Oh shit, you got Kaido.
Kaido.
All right.
That's a solid captain.
That is.
This team changes dramatically.
It does.
Okay, I still gotta do mine, huh?
If you want to, you don't have to.
Okay, I'm getting rid of Ivankov.
This is yes, sir.
I want a better sniper. I'm getting rid of Ivankov.
Okay.
I'm keeping Kobe because I think Kobe floors Ivankov, low key. Okay. I just went for it.
This is
I don't know if this is a pretty good sniper considering her ability. I got Nico Robin.
As your sniper?
Yeah.
I mean, so definitely a long range.
Puts her hands, yeah, long range.
There you go. Long range attack, quick little.
Finally, I got a baddie on my team. Shit.
I think it's an upgrade for sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there you go.
So now I am, to go over teams, Captain Monkey D. Luffy, Vice Captain and Mentor Goldie Roger, Tank and other Mentor Rayleigh, Healer Kobe. We always knew Kobe and Luffy were friends. We all knew it. Sniper used to be Emporio Ivankov, now is Nico Robin. Support Buggy D. Clown. Second support Soul King Brook.
Solid. Very
roster. Solid roster.
All right. So now we have a little bit of stuff going on over here in chat. Jacob's trying to go ahead and negotiate a little bit. Jacob, you're trying to go ahead and trade. Who are you trying to trade for Tish here? Or are you just trying to help out Tish because maybe you feel bad?
Secrets.
Oh, I was gonna trade Chopper for Akainu.
Damn, you know you weren't gonna do that. Don't play with her head like that.
Yeah, but Akainu's not gonna be a healer.
Yeah.
You can't just trade that because that's not gonna work.
And then what would Chopper be? Chopper would be their tank.
Damn. Well, I mean, there's only one way Chopper could be the tank.
Yeah.
So, interesting. All right. Good stuff.
Solid lineups. All around.
I'll go ahead and I'll post them over on the... yeah. Actually, give me... I'll go ahead and I'll post over on Instagram, and we will go ahead and just do a fun little poll question to ask teams as far as which teams are better. Maybe I can go ahead and either do 1v1 or maybe just do all 4 and just see what you guys all said. And Tish is like, don't post. We'll see. No, your team is respectable now. Your captain is respectable, so nothing wrong there.
Yeah, now that you have a solid captain, like that's actually a scary team.
Alrighty. Now, let's go see what the poll question says. And then we'll go ahead and we'll get into the story.
Damn.
But the poll question that we asked.
Crazy teams.
So the poll question we asked was pretty much kind of in regards to like last week we talked about Mikasa's her like lineage as far as her, you know, it's about her mom's side of the family, you know, where she came from and kind of like the history behind it. And well, Miss Kimi, is it Kimiko? Yeah, Miss Azumabito, she, you know, saw the symbol over Mikasa's arm and referred to Mikasa as the last hope, which is obviously, it's a lot of pressure to go and put on somebody, but I just thought it'd be kind of an interesting question just to see what our friends went on to go ahead and think. If you were over in Parody and you had to go ahead and leave the final and last hope to one of these 3 characters, these friends, the OGs, Eren, Armin, and Mikasa, Now, I wanted you guys to think about it. Now, consider yourself on that island. Consider yourself just in the hands of any of these characters, right?
Yep.
And Tish says there was only one right answer. Interesting. We'll see if everybody else kind of had the same thought.
We'll see if you guys are hive mind or not.
All right. So the question is, quick, you must decide who the last hope of parody will be. Who do you trust more to be the last hope? Again, your choices are Armin, Eren, and Mikasa. And it's very, very close. Very close.
Tish already knows.
Tish knows?
And not everyone's in agreement. She knows one person who definitely ain't in agreement with her decision.
Yeah. Just don't attach my name to this blasphemy.
Hey, replace Jesus. You got a solid team, man.
There you go. As well, speaking of giants, the ending is pretty terrible. I'm trying to think what in references that is to giants. Ending is terrible. You know what Omar's referring to? Oh, the rumbling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about the rumbling. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that, Omar. I had to go and think about that. But yeah, as far as speaking of giants, yeah. But
ending does suck.
I will say,
for everyone but the Giants,
the top vote getter and second place are only separated by one vote. By one vote.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Which
down
means
to the wire.
That third place did not receive as many votes. But Zach, do you want to maybe guess as far as who you think last place was?
Mikasa.
That'd be correct.
I already know what the results are. I didn't need to look at it.
Oh, you know what they are?
No, I don't know, but I wish I did. I can tell you who I would have voted for.
Yeah, let me know.
I would have voted for Armin.
Okay, interesting. Do you think that the majority agreed?
No, I think Jacob's multiple accounts picked Eren.
Well, like I said, there's one vote separating, and if that is the case, then Jacob didn't do enough because Armin is one vote higher, which means that Armin has been chosen as the final and last hope for the Island of Parody. Now, interesting why you guys maybe thought that. Now, as far as Mikasa goes, I mean, I'm sorry, Mikasa, you are an absolute badass.
Mm-hmm.
And, Mikasa, she's a great warrior, great ally. And I just think that there are limitations with these characters. And as far as being a leader, I don't know if I can say that I've seen that from Mikasa. She's obviously very much attached to whatever Eren decides to do. So I guess that kind of just goes on to pretty much ruin her chances as far as being the final hope because she's not going to want to do anything that Eren's not going to want to do. So I guess, you guys were correct in voting her last. But also, I'm sure if you voted for her, you probably have your reasons as well. So I'd be very, very curious to know why you guys chose Mikasa. For anybody that did chose Mikasa, Jacob said I chose Eren. And we all know that, just like Tish said. And the proof is right there in front of us, right? As far as if you're going with Eren, you see what the result is.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Now, while you are on that island, there are other things you have to worry about, right? Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You just stay away from the wine and all that. But
please don't drink the wine.
But if you're there and you have to trust in Eren, that Eren will go ahead and protect and take care of that island, then I think that is a valid choice because we see.
100%. If you're a parody resident,
that's all
you
Eren
got
cares
God
about.
on your side.
Yeah, that's all that Eren cares about is that island and protecting that island and trying to remove every and all threats. So, I'm sure maybe that was part of the thought process. And if there was anything other than that, other than the rumbling, then I'd be very, very curious to know what you guys were thinking about when you were voting for Eren.
Yeah.
But Armin, again, he got the most votes. As far as the percentage here,
our dandelion boy taking the dub.
The percentage was Armin's 43% to Eren's 39%.
That's close.
And then Mikasa received 17%.
She got double-digit love.
Now, let's think about it. Why do we think Armin received at least one more vote than
He's
Eren?
the most level-headed.
Most level-headed, right?
I think it's just he's the obvious choice, and Jacob didn't have enough accounts.
Well, so you said that you would have voted for Armin. I myself would have voted for Armin as well. I mean, Armin is my favorite character. I think that Armin does have a very, very much level head, and also his first immediate reaction and response to any kind of conflict is to try to talk through and understand and seeing how we can work on it amicably together. Because I'm not trying to instill fear. I'm not trying to, sacrifice and risk any lives in the process.
He's very group oriented, and he's a survival man.
Yeah, interesting. Jacob goes, check the accounts. I didn't double vote. You know all my accounts. Interesting. I did not actually look to see who voted.
You know what,
who
Jacob?
Did not vote.
I'll take your word on that.
Yeah.
I'll take your word on that.
But which means what we did see, Jacob did steal the number one again from Tish. So interesting there. This is going to keep going back and forth. Did you know how to make your bots?
Yeah, they're AI. Sole purpose is to vote on polls while aligning with Dratodon.
I think that Armin probably, in my opinion, would be the better vote if you're looking to go ahead and try to limit
politics.
as much conflict and as much murder and as much backlash as possible.
Armin ushers in an era of peace. Eren throws a temper tantrum. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Well, Eren, we see now at this point, and we're going to continue seeing it as we go ahead and talk about the episode coming up, but Eren now is just all about instilling fear, and he himself is afraid. He understands that, there's layers to what Eren is doing, because Eren he doesn't really have a choice at this point, but, Eren, again, the tactic is very different. The tactic is very much offensive.
Yep.
He's the attack titan, for crying out loud.
Yep, it's in the name.
And that's his just instinct, is to, in order to protect his family, protect his home, he has to eliminate
he's a strike first
as many or all threats. That's the only way. And in his eyes, in his mind, in his memories, that's the only way for him to ensure that the island is safe, is to go ahead and remove all threats. And that essentially means everybody else outside of that island. Again, that's extremist behavior there, but I guess if your goal is to, be on the island and be safe, I guess, you probably wouldn't have an issue with that, unless are like Armin and like some of the other characters that, didn't want, mass genocide to be the answer.
People who, don't want rampant death. In the world.
Exactly.
I kind of agree with Omar.
Okay.
Where he said, for me, my choice would have been Eren, but I didn't like his behavior in the end. Let's forget this part and the character will be complete. So let's just say pre-Historia Kiss.
Yeah.
Pre-Historia Kiss might have my vote. But once all those memories just went, I'm sorry, he's done. He's donezo bunzo.
Omar, that's a great point.
Him.
That's a great point. If we can somehow build off of the character of Eren from the moment that they were able to retrieve Shiganshina back, I think that's a character you can build off of. That's a character that you can go ahead and
have Armin on his right hand to keep telling him, hey, man.
You know what?
Let's not kill everybody.
That's a great team right there. Talk about captain and vice captain. I mean,
that's
real. Great right there, right?
Yep.
But I think that Eren would go ahead and continue to grow to become a very strong, right, soldier for parity. He was obviously referred to as, humanity's last hope.
Yep.
And keep in mind, as far as, people in parity, they thought that humanity was them, right? They thought that they were the humanity, right? They didn't know what else was over outside the island, because obviously memory wipe and stuff like that don't know about the histories and everything and stuff.
The sole beings in the universe besides the Titan.
Only history they know as far as what's in the books.
Yep.
And I think that I like that a lot, Omar. I like that if we were building off of Eren, right? So think about that kind of like victory against Zeke and against Rhina and Bertold. Obviously, Bertold has now, you retrieve the colossal Titan. Annie is still underground, but you retrieve this land that's obviously very important, right? They're able to go ahead and head to the sea afterwards. It's such a beautiful moment. You can go ahead and feel that kind of like moment of just like
a sigh of relief.
It's peace, and it's a big step towards like freedom and being respected. Now, I'm not going to obviously say that like, okay, well, the job is done, because there are much bigger threats over on the other side of that sea there.
Like
but
enemies, or like Eren says, our enemy is out there.
Yeah. But if Eren wasn't that Eren, and he was the kind of like, maybe more hopeful, more optimistic, continually to be that kind of suicidal maniac and motivated and stuff, like I feel like that would have been really good for his morale, right? To go and get that big dub. And then, like he's left with Zeke saying that I will come back for you and this and that, and I think that would have been a very interesting and different story.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't get that Eren. It's that kiss. That kiss is what literally just changed everything. And even like what Tish says, blondes tend to send you crazy. So just a kiss from that, Queen Historia, from that very important blonde character over in AOT, right? Like that's all it took. And what's interesting though is that no matter the case, no matter the memories, no matter the now agenda, the goal seems to always be just protect parity, right? And we find that out ultimately over in the end. And we also learn, because even when last week, right? Well, actually, we're going to go learn more about it, but we've seen before in the past where Eren has really gone out of his way to ensure Historia's safety and ensure that she isn't kind of being used as some sort of experiment to go ahead and, like use the founding Titan's ability, because, now they find out that, you need to use a family of royal blood. And so if that's information that they knew for sure, who knows way back when,
Hanji would have been like, can I poke and prod at Historia?
I feel like just despite Historia being the queen, I feel like it really would have been pushed on her to accept that role.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that, and we're going to learn that maybe she can be persuaded. Maybe she wants to step up, and that could be stuff that we go ahead and we talk about.
She's not afraid of taking on responsibility.
Yeah, exactly. But, in my opinion, Eren and Armin were the choices. Again, no disrespect to Mikasa.
Mikasa, she's a good right hand.
Mikasa's a good tank.
Yeah.
Mikasa's a good tank.
Mikasa's the brawler of the group.
Yeah, and so as far as being your captain, being the last hope, no. And again, the question was kind of presented because Mikasa was referred to as the last hope. She was like, surprised by that news, surprised by her kind of now finding out about the history of her, lineage a little bit. And and it's interesting because these are essentially, with the exception of Marley working together with Parody, like Hizuru are like the first foreign allies.
Yeah, 100%.
For Parody.
They're the first foreign visitors in centuries that weren't enemies. Yeah. So they're the first contact with the outside world besides Marley.
Jacob says, Omar, Eren was great from beginning to end. Very, very interesting. We're going to continue to see that very quick descent to just like portraying that almost like inner like villain and stuff that we're gonna see with his interaction with a certain character in today's episode. She'll support her friends. She fights for their rights and their wrongs. It's true.
I want to comment on Omar's. Go ahead and read that.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay, Omar said, Eren knowing the future yet blaming Rhina for his mother's death, which he caused, is contradictory. The writer mishandled the timelines. Interesting.
I don't think he's blaming Rhina in that situation. It's a deeper question because, like we talked about during that episode, Eren's asking him that question in the sense of, why do you think this is happening? Like, why did you kill my mother? In the sense, why do you think I'm doing this? It's a parallel. It's human desire that can't be scrubbed away. It's the need for, the greed for security, the greed for peace. It's that never-ending hunger that things could be better. That's what drives humans to take action against other humans. It's a more deeper philosophical question. Because at this point, Eren's already got all the memories. He's the one who, he understands now that he sent the smiling Titan to kill his own mother. Yeah. Sacrifices must be made. He's the one who killed his mother, no one else. He admits to that later on.
Yeah.
But it's a rhetorical question for Reiner saying, why did my mother have to die? Because that's just the way the world is. That's the answer. But Reiner just is already mentally broken down. He can't think that deep. He's thinking his guilt has already overridden his mind. So it's a bit of psychological warfare, but that's why Eren's not digging it in deeper. And he's just like, it's just a question.
And if I remember correctly, in that moment, Eren also kind of sympathizes with Reiner's decision.
He does.
He understands why he did it now, because Eren essentially
that's why he's so
now
calm,
doing the same thing, you know, and then
it's like him having a self-realization saying, oh, I'm doing the same shit he did to me.
Yeah.
Why? Now that then in lies the question, I'm doing what you did to me, so you must know, why did my mother have to die that day? And we're doing the same thing for the same reasons.
That could be just like thinking about Carla Yeager being like, that's what we're talking about in this conversation, but the conversation, it's bigger than Carla.
Yeah.
It's more like he's saying like, you know, why did my mom have to die? Almost like putting that on Reiner, like you're saying, where it's like, you know, this was essentially like an effect of your cause, right? So the reason why this is happening is because of what your mission was.
It was his catalyst. It was what drove me to want to kill all the Titans, which that led me to you guys, which led me to my dad's basement, which led me to understanding the Titans more, to understanding that I have the founder in me now, and understanding that I have all these memories. What led to all that?
Yeah.
My mother dying. But why did she have to die? Your country's greed for putting us down, or your fleshly desires to keep us in the dark and to have that power over us.
Yeah. And if there ever was like the pivotal and like deciding moment, it was Carla's death. That is what we start.
That's his canon event.
That's what we start the series with. But that is, like you said, the canon event, and what essentially caused Eren to be who he is now. If that never happened, you know, Eren wouldn't be on the course that he's on. He wouldn't be in this journey. His mom would have probably prevented him from doing a lot of stuff.
100%.
You know, and so
he probably wouldn't have even wanted to join the Scouts as much.
Yeah.
He might have grown out of it. He would have been like, well, we survived this. I'm sure he probably would have joined the Scouts just because he got attacked. But if Carla didn't die,
his drive,
it's different. It's not as bloodlusty. Yeah. It's not as revenge driven.
Yeah, definitely. So, but Omar, keep the incredible chat comments coming, man. So one thing I go ahead and stress for sure over on the podcast is that whenever we go ahead and we're doing this thing live, like I want you guys to ask questions. I want us to be able to go ahead and have these conversations and talk together. You know, like any point that we may go ahead and bring up, and if you guys have a counterpoint, or if you want to add on to the point, please, by all means, go ahead and let us know and give us your guys' point of view. Give us your guys' kind of perception on whatever topic we're talking about here, because, you know, the point here is for us to go ahead and talk about, you know, AOT together. Talk about these different moments together. And anytime there's a question, do not be afraid to ask. And our goal here is just to continue to go ahead and learn more about this series. I mean, this series has so many layers to it. We're covering season 4, and it's a season that we're not too familiar with. So there's a lot that we're learning here. But anytime we get an opportunity to go and learn more and be able to ask questions and just openly talk through the questions together, like I think it's helpful to those that maybe had the same question but didn't ask. You know, maybe you might have the same question. So I think that it's an interesting thing. Guys. Yeah, for sure. And so like even Tish says like he wouldn't have had any motivation or drive. So I think that's
the way I see it is the world still turns. Because Eren, at the end of the day, Eren is the ultimate deciding factor on how his mother died. And we learn that later on.
Yeah.
So even if they were to still attack and if Carlo would have lived, like I'm assuming he tried to before, he tried to make a world where his mom could still live. And like you say, he doesn't have the drive and motivation. But I think even with that attack, just that attack on his own home, he would have had the drive to join the Scouts. It just would have been for a more righteous reason than revenge, you know? It would have been more for I want to protect my home and my mom rather than I want to kill all the Titans.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure killing all Titans would have been in there somewhere, but it's for a different purpose.
We found out also, too, that Eren wasn't very good at killing Titans.
No, he wasn't. Until he became one.
You want to go ahead and...
Yeah, I got you.
Jacob says, I personally look at them as almost parallels, like how Eren reminds me of God in the Old Testament. Interesting. That's an interesting kind of parallel for sure. All right. But yeah, so thank you guys for everyone that voted. Appreciate.
I'd like to understand more about that, Jacob. Mm-hmm. And what exact ways are you referencing?
Yeah, if you want to elaborate, Jacob, please.
Bro sent me all the. He made it. Mm-hmm. Jacob sent me all of his bot or his extra accounts.
Really?
Proof. Yeah. I believed you, Jacob. I believed you.
Omar says, Attack on Titan is full of plot holes, and especially towards the end, at least in my opinion. You know what's crazy about that? It's, I know Isayama, there are opportunities, there are ideas for, other stories, spin-offs or prequels, sequels, different opportunities. But I know that Isayama didn't want to go ahead and touch any of that stuff because he didn't want to actually mess up with the timeline.
Yeah.
He knows that us fans are very, very insightful and
we like picking shit apart.
He knows that people would go ahead and see certain things play out and see those kind of plot holes like Omar is mentioning here. I
mean, that's why the ending was rewritten.
Yeah. So it would be an interesting thing for sure if there were spinoffs, because that we'd go ahead and be like looking at them very, very carefully and stuff.
Yeah.
We'd be very, very happy about it, but
just answers to the questions we've always had.
But it would suck though if something did not kind of co-line with the timeline, or if something did happen and end up changing something that would suck. It just says, actually you're right, he always had a bloodlust sense of justice. Take a look at how he fought for Mikasa when they first met. It wouldn't be there, just not so self-serving. Yeah, he definitely always was very ambitious, but like what Zach was saying is that the motivation to go ahead and do things, almost like to continue fighting, because you see one of these monsters pick up your mom and
literally bite her in half.
Like, yeah, right in front of you.
Yeah.
And then you grow like such hatred for these Titans. And then at that moment is where it's almost like Eren was unwilling to accept no for an answer. Like even when like his gear was faulty and messed up and purposely messed with, right? He still would not accept defeat. He still was trying, despite like Sardis preventing Eren from continuing to go ahead and advance further, because that's a whole other thing. The issue there too. Like if Eren wasn't as motivated because of his mother's death, who's to say that Eren would maybe he would have accepted that. Maybe he's just not capable of this, or who knows.
Could have joined like, I'm trying to think of the name. Inside the Walls. Garrison.
Yeah.
Could have joined the Garrison instead of the Scouts for all we know.
Yeah. Who knows?
Or the MPs even. I don't know if he'd be good enough for the MPs, but
I think that like the big part of it is obviously Grisha, giving that serum to Eren.
Oh, 100%.
And then, obviously transferring of the powers. Now, that is obviously, a big part of Eren, how he is and who he is and how strong he is and what he receives as far as memories and stuff. So,
maybe the memories always come flooding in.
Maybe.
Or maybe Carl doesn't die. Eren doesn't make Grisha eat the founding Titan.
Maybe, but I think that
maybe he goes about it another way.
Right, that regardless of whatever happens, Eren always rewrites history to ensure that it happens. So it's like, there's no way that
you can't break the chain, man.
Yeah, there's no way that Eren is able even there's no chance of anything changing. So, yeah. Eddie goes, I didn't realize you guys were here already. I was listening to y'all play the game. Yeah. We're now, we just...
we haven't started reading yet, don't worry.
Finished talking about the poll question.
Yeah.
And Eddie, I saw you voted for Mika, so what is that all about? No, I'm kidding. I don't know who you voted for, Eddie. But yeah, Jacob says, especially the Great Flood and the rumbling. Jacob says, God sent out a massive flood to wipe out humanity due to wickedness and cruelty, and Eren was doing what he was doing to put an end to humanity. Yeah, I think that
the thing with that though is it's like I see the similarities, like where you're coming from, but I would consider it more like, I would argue it's more comparable to the rapture, like the 7-year tribulation than the Great Flood. Because the Great Flood, the whole point was Moses was picked. Just one man was able to bring his family because he was the one man who stayed true and right to God. Which you don't really get that.
Lead these group of people to like the promised land,
Yeah, and he didn't bring on people, he brought on animals. So the animals could repopulate, and then he repopulated from then on with his family.
Yeah.
So I would consider it more like end times. Like all the sin is purged from the world, and then you get your 1,000 years to you, 1,000 years in the future, 2,000 years in the future, your millennia of peace.
Correct me if I'm wrong though, but right, so Moses leading these people, right, to this promised land through the flood, and then upon going to this promised land, then you're thinking about Noah.
I'm thinking of Noah. Yeah, my bad. Moses.
But Moses goes on to go ahead and lead people to the promised land, and then he ends up climbing this mountain to find
God. Yes.
To speak to the burning bush.
You're right, because Moses he brought them. That was Exodus. Brought them out of Egypt. Yes, so, my bad. I was thinking Genesis for whatever reason.
Yeah. So I guess to that point though, Jacob, it's like Moses was given like a mission, right? He was like spoken to, and he knew that in order to go ahead.
I guess I do see more of the comparison with my bad. You're right. I was definitely thinking Noah.
It's almost like he had to go ahead and transport his people to this land where they can go ahead and grow to become like, I don't know, I guess not plentiful, but yeah, I guess that's kind of like what.
It was a promised land. It was a land of milk and honey.
Yeah. I know that there was the commandments.
It was to Israel, to Jerusalem.
Yeah, interesting. But there are some, I think, in terms of being given like a mission, like that's kind of like what Eren's on right now, right? Where Eren's kind of being fed, these kind of like,
Yeah, Omar says, what do you think of Ymir? She blindly followed the king, even though she could have killed him and ended it all. It didn't make sense. There's no real mental condition like that. I mean, Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome, for sure. I mean, even like
that's kind of like what it was, right? Because
it was love.
It was literally just love.
It was love. It was Stockholm Syndrome. She was a child, and that's all she knew. She didn't know any better. Like, you could compare it to even like the Diddy case now with I forget her name, but his wife that he.
You're talking about Cassie?
Yeah, that he hired prostitutes to come and have relations with her, and like he basically like pimped her out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what it's more comparable to in terms of Ymir.
Remember, Ymir wasn't just physically enslaved, but mentally as well.
Yeah.
The thing with Ymir is that she seemed to be cursed by this like love and this infatuation that she had for King Fritz. And Ymir's story, it's
tragic.
She didn't really ever find that kind of love, and then when she thought she found it, it seemed like she was always chasing that kind of love. And she obviously died at a very young age, and it
took Mikasa being able to do the thing she couldn't do to break the curse.
Yeah.
Seeing that someone can love someone so much to the point where they're quite literally soul bound to them.
Yeah.
And still be able to pull the trigger, not only for the betterment of the person they love, but for the betterment of the people that they affect as well.
Yeah. And also, too, King Fritz is the father of her 3 daughters as well.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. And that's her. That's her baby daddy.
Or I should say, lack thereof of consensual relations there was, but it's still like, you know, that was kind of the father figure. That was, you know, her. I mean, it was essentially her king as well, and she was weaponized, but you know, we learned that she continued to hold on to that love and that, like, I don't know, I guess unwavering
devotion.
Like, yeah.
You want to talk about loyalty, my friend.
Well, that's as loyal as it gets right there.
Yeah. And then Tish said she was groomed to think that her only worth was to serve a king. Even after gaining power, she didn't think she had any. It's why she stayed so long in the paths. Like, Eren wasn't the one who freed her. It was Mikasa, showing her what love and freedom both look like together.
It's true.
Then
Great point, Tish.
Omar says, the situation I mentioned, my friend, is different from what happened to Ymir.
Yeah.
Talking about, well, he said she blindly followed the king, and like she could have killed him. She had probably multiple chances to kill him, but she was a slave to her love, which the love is what hindered her freedom. Mikasa showed that you could have love and freedom.
Yeah, I mean, it's
kind of like what Tish said.
It's kind of hard to say, I guess.
Jacob could have treated her better. Yeah, we know you could have, bud.
But I feel like Ymir was already like
just
so fragile, and she was still very young.
She was 13 when she had the 3rd child, I believe. Because she was 13 when she died.
Yeah.
No, she had to have the child earlier. That's kind of creepy, but
yeah,
kind of dark. Yeah, she had children before she was even in her teens. Like, that's all she was raised to know.
Definitely. But a great question for sure.
That was an awesome question.
It's definitely obviously a question that a lot of us have watching the series, where like, why did Ymir still love the king? You know, it's, I don't know if it wouldn't be a founding Titan thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know. And she goes, and then her kids ate her.
Yep. We remember that part.
They did. So Omar, if you want to go ahead and elaborate on kind of any specifics that maybe we may have missed, by all means. But a great question again. She says, love shouldn't come at the compromise of your self-worth. And again, she was a child. Yeah, in all capitals, exactly, a child. Fritz was her father figure, lover, and father of her kids. It's hard to separate from that when it's all you know.
Yeah.
I think that exactly.
Especially once you have the kids, it's like, now you have to do what he says because he's in control of your kids.
Yeah.
He's the king. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Alrighty. I think that now what we can do is we can go ahead and start doing a little bit of a recap.
Yep.
Go ahead and talk about the story. Like I said, this will be part 2 of our breakdown for episode 10.
Actually, while you recap, I'll make a little trip.
All right. No worries. Let me just go ahead and make sure. You know, we were working on last week, and I went ahead and I recapped a little bit of it. Very, very little, but let's see. So as far as recap goes, last week, Hanji and Eren having a little kind of one-sided conversation. Hanji sees a very different side of Eren. Obviously, Eren now is in a cell because they can't really trust him anymore because of what he pulled over with the attack over in Liberio. And so Eren talking to himself, Eren staring at himself. Hanji is kind of just analyzing, and we're going to continue on that conversation in this episode and seeing how that plays out. And then we also talked about the deliberation that was taking place between Hizuru and between Parody. and that's because now that the ports allow foreign allies, Hizuru was the first one, and so we're gonna find out essentially what Miss Azumabito, what she's there for, what she's willing to negotiate, what she wants to do as far as kind of working together alongside Parody. What's the goal? We know that the reason why they are together is she name drops is essentially because of Zeke Yeager's plan. And so we're going to find out more about her involvement with Zeke, a conversation she had with him, and we'll get a better understanding as to why Kiyomi is there at the island. And then there are obviously still some concerns, right, about the sudden changes happening from the different brass members and high-ranking officials over in Parody. I think you can understand why they would be hesitant to go ahead and work alongside anybody that's kind of, that's from another foreign land. And, hearing words like, they keep referring to nation, this and that, and so there's definitely a lot of questions. And so that's why this deliberation is going to take place. It's going to bring a better kind of understanding. But, again, one of the things that we did understand was that, Mikasa has this symbol that is same symbol to a flag that Miss Azumabito, Kiyomi has, and so that's where we're going to get that now new revelation that Mikasa comes from a very strong family, and the family has some history with the royal family, which is why Historia herself was happy too to find out that maybe her and Mikasa can go ahead and be working alongside each other. And so we'll go ahead and we will continue on with that deliberation. Like I said, we'll get a better understanding, and we will do that shortly. Let's go see real quick what's happening over in chat. Interesting.
I got let me see.
Tish says love shouldn't come at compromise or self-worth. Oh, she said that, yeah. Just says stay safe, be a lesbian. Omar said for Stockholm Syndrome, the kidnapper must provide safety and care, but the king cut Ymir's tongue and treat her badly. How is this Stockholm Syndrome?
I mean, it doesn't always have to be safety and care. Sometimes it's just
like
lack of exposure to, it could be like, right, Stockholm Syndrome. It's a psychological coping mechanism that can develop in victims of captivity or abuse, causing them to identify with and develop positive feelings towards their captors. So it doesn't have to, it could be through any means.
Yeah.
But if you have someone who they're falling for them due to safety and care, that would just, for me, identify as a good partner. That's not Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome comes from someone who is being mistreated but falls for their captor anyways, just because of lack of exposure to other people or the need to cope or whatever it means. But it normally comes from abuse or, like it says, captivity or abuse.
And I think that even what Tisha's saying is like a big reason why Ymir has the mindset that she does, because she lacks experience. She doesn't know what the world presents to her outside of, the king. And, so from that moment where she essentially was taken in, she was obviously tortured and stuff, but, like you said, she was groomed. She was used as a weapon. She was used to go ahead and pretty much be this incubator for, the king's seed, so that he may have, his heirs, or, the story is pretty sad. It's pretty tragic, and it's one of those stories where when you find out more about it, you don't feel any better about it.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but I guess what's good is that talking about Ymir and being stuck in like captivity over in the paths, that she essentially is set free, like Tish said, by Mikasa and through Mikasa's actions, and from that moment on now, and we can just pray that Ymir's spirit is finally able to rest now.
Do we think Eren's is? I think that's why we have the tree at the end, because Eren doesn't get to rest.
I think that Eren, very well could now be the new Ymir.
100%. 100%. I agree with that 110%.
Ymir essentially did give Eren the free reign over in the paths. And so
there's just no Titans.
I think that
until war happens again and the world needs to be cold again.
Yeah.
And someone walks into that tree.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that Eren could be stuck there. I mean, I'm sure that maybe he has given some sort of little signals and signs. We see the bird obviously with the scarf.
100%.
So it could be little signs, you know. But if that is the case, then we're kind of now talking about the same thing with Eren and kind of the same story with Ymir, where there's going to be an extended, long period of time until Eren is essentially going to be like freed and released.
You
know? And that would just take a whole other story, and maybe that's where again the child and the dog might come into effect and stuff and all that as they approach the tree. Who
in
knows?
A post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah.
Still on an island.
Yeah. It just says abuse isn't 24/7. Sometimes just being fed or spared is twisted into care. When you're broken down, Ymir was conditioned from childhood to serve. Yeah. Yeah. Again, the element, the fact that was just a child, you know, I think that really did kind of.
At 13, you listen to your parents more or less.
Yeah. And
your husbands.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, guess what? You didn't have husbands at 13.
But thank you again, Omar, for the questions.
We love it. We love the interaction.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into the story. We'll go ahead and we'll talk about it, and then we'll go ahead and we'll break it down the best we can and kind of just understand as far as what's happening and how it overall goes out and connects to some of the story and stuff. And like we talked about with like last week and stuff, these are now moments that are essentially kind of setting up you know, more of the story of how it's going to take place. Like I said, we're introduced to, you know, new foreign allies with Hizuru. You know, we come to understand how Marley is helping, you know, revolutionize just technology and growth over in Parody. Parody, they are very far behind.
They're getting choo-choo trains.
You know, so a lot of the story right now that we are back from that battle in Liberia, we are bouncing back in time a little bit, but now that we are back, now it's kind of like, all right, how are these things going to affect, or what's being now brought into the story that's going to go ahead and continue, you know, just expanding season 4.
Yeah.
So
all the chess pieces are falling into the right spot.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll learn more together. And then again, if you guys have any questions or if you guys want to continue the conversation, please do so over in chat. Again, Lexi's not here, so we will be voicing the very strong women characters, and we will be just reading as them. And if Zach wants to go ahead and do, you know, your Historia voice again.
Oh fuck yeah! I already knew she was coming back.
But Zach will be our narrator for this episode. So, yeah, Zach, whenever you're ready.
Gotcha. We continue the episode with the deliberation between Kiyomi Azumabito and the Brass of Parody that took place 2 years ago. We resume with Kiyomi making the first introductory statements.
This is a historic day for both our nations. And it's worth noting that this day would never have come if not for the man who brought us all together. I'm speaking, of course, of Zeke Yeager. We conversed with him in secret, and before he would agree to facilitate this meeting, he negotiated with us on behalf of your island. We discussed more than Lady Mikasa.
We now go to that specific moment as Miss Azumabito and her guards converse with Zeke in what appears to be an abandoned warehouse. Zeke is eager to show her something. First of all, take a look at this. Zeke uncovers some sort of tech that causes Kiyomi to gasp upon seeing it. Kiyomi appears to recognize the tech as she says,
"That's..."
Zeke, surprised by Kiyomi's understanding of this item, says, "That's odd. Do you recognize this? It's top secret in Marley." Kiyomi puts on her best poker face as she just stares at Zeke. "Well, as you know, This omnidirectional mobility gear is an anti-Titan weapon made in parody. This piece doesn't belong to Marley. I procured it myself. Please consider it a gift. I ought to mention, though, it does need a special type of fuel to operate. It's exceedingly rare. They're calling it Ice Burst Stone. One of Kiyomi's guards retrieves the ODM device. It's only ever been mined in parody, so very little is known about it. That said, you should be able to find traces of it inside that apparatus. Kiyomi now continues her deliberation during the meeting.
Zeke Yeager's proposal was that we ally with and assist Parody in exchange for access to a resource that could return our nation to its former glory. It's a rather tempting offer. Thus, while we're aware that he made this offer without surveying your reserves, we suspect that in this modern era, a treasure like Iceberg Stone could change the world and generate a fortune in the process.
As Mikasa literally notices Miss Azumabito licking her lips, Mikasa now has a clear idea as to why she's here.
Sounds like that's Hizuru's real hope.
Hanji, too, takes some mental notes.
Yelena did say that negotiations would go well between the Azumabitos.
Oh, wait. Yelena did say that negotiations would go well. Oh, okay. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to segment?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hanji, too, takes some mental notes.
Yelena did say that negotiations would go well because the Azumabitos are money grubbers.
Commander Pixis also has his thoughts.
This is a dangerous island to visit. I doubt anyone would take the risk if there weren't any money to be made.
Queen Historia has a question for Kiyomi.
Hold on. So Zeke Yeager asked you to assist us? What would you assist us with?
Kiyomi respectfully answers Historia's question.
As I'm sure you're aware, he's concocted a plan to protect Eldia and the world. We're here because his plan can only succeed with Hizuru's assistance. It calls for a 3-point course of action which would allow you to defend yourselves with your so-called rumbling. This would begin with a test run of the rumbling. You would unleash a fraction of the Titans in your walls, enough to display their destructive potential for all of the world to see. That will buy you time with which to modernize and strengthen your army so as to render the rumbling unnecessary. You're 100 years behind the rest of the world. Hizuru will help you catch up. Until then, you must be able to shake the earth by maintaining the founding Titan and having a Titan of royal blood.
Eren's eyes appear to express fear and trauma.
That's the third point of this plan. Zeke will pass on the Beast Titan to an individual who has royal blood. And that person must spend the 13 years they'll have left bearing as many children as possible.
The main members of the brass appear to show hesitancy. Eren Yeager is traumatized at the idea. Commander Pixis appears to be very reluctant. Mikasa seems very worried, and Historia looks like she is witnessing a nightmarish future for her. Hanji begins to try to process these events in her mind.
Even if we get advanced weapons, will we really stop needing the rumbling? If we choose to rely on it, we'll have to continue the practice of Titan inheritance for generations. I see how it could protect us for the time being, but is that enough of an excuse for us to push this problem onto our descendants?
Hanji looks at Historia.
Of course, it isn't. And yet...
Before Hanji can finish their thought, Queen Historia chimes in on the proposal.
I understand, and I'm ready. If the rumbling is essential to our survival, I'll do my part. I'm willing to inherit the Beast Titan from Zeke Yeager.
Miss Azumabito can't even look Queen Historia in the face. As Parody brass members become emotional at the thought that Queen Historia would make such a noble sacrifice. But Eren has heard enough as he jumps out of his seat.
If Zeke's plan is to buy our salvation at the price of broken walls, trampled lands, and children bred to be slaughtered like livestock, then I say he can go to hell and take his sick little plan with him.
Historia appears to be surprised by Eren's disapproval of this plan.
Staking our survival on the threat of the rumbling is a dangerous move. So before we commit to it, we should try to find another way. Let's use what time we have to look at our options.
Historia begins to become emotional by Eren's new proposal.
That is a very different Eren.
Yes, it is.
This is Eren from 2 years ago.
This is the Eren that we would have voted for.
Yeah, definitely. Just like Omar was
with
saying.
that being said, that's an Armin response right there, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk about this, right? In order for us to go ahead and really understand again Eren and why he himself is so adamant and against this plan is because, like we went ahead and talked about, like I had mentioned, that Eren trying to protect Historia isn't any kind of new thing. Excuse me. They were also having a deliberation as Hanji was talking about the brass and stuff, talking about this plan, introducing the Zeke's plan, right? That she herself had heard and listened to upon getting information from Yelena, right? It was in that room where it was just Yelena and Onyan Capone and Hanji and Captain Levi. And then from then on, that's when Hanji had to go ahead and talk about this plan. And Eren himself. It was essentially confirmed and cemented to him that Zeke was right. You know, in order to execute and use a Founding Titan, the abilities is that it has to be, you know, through essentially connection with a person of royal blood.
Yep.
And so Eren
or they have
knew,
to have it themselves.
Yeah, and then Eren knew that they would go ahead essentially experiment with Historia, right? So that was kind of an idea that we had where, you know, all right, Eren is there protecting, you know, Historia, right? He's looking out for, he understands that, you know, she's not somebody to go ahead and kind of just be, you know, experimented with and especially if it wasn't completely sure in that moment, right? So that's what we kind of understand here. But here in this deliberation, interesting things that Kiyomi Azumabito points out. One, starting with a specific resource that she's very much interested in.
Yep.
Even Mikasa was like, oh, I understand why you're here now.
Yeah, you're not here for me.
Yeah. And it's interesting too that, you know,
she's the bonus.
In this deliberation, you know, Kiyomi also says like, you know, we didn't just talk about Lady Mikasa. I don't even think they talked about Mikasa at all.
Nope.
You know?
Not once.
I think that she just brought that up because now that Mikasa is now a potential factor now in this plan.
Like I said, she's a cherry on top.
Yeah. So
they got by without lineage for a long time.
Yeah, definitely. But obviously the priority here appears to be the Ice Burst Stone. And this is a resource that Parity has that other land and nations and countries or different parts of the world don't have.
Yep.
And it seems to be...
It's an exclusive element.
Yeah, well, obviously this is the element that they use for their omnidirectional gear, right? Which is very interesting, you know? It just goes to show that, like, you know, while they are, as described here, 100 years behind on growth and technology and all that, like... They still have kind of the upper, you know, like a little. I guess maybe an advantage on this.
It's like Wakanda having what is it, vibranium?
Yeah, vibranium. Yeah,
it's like they're the only place that has it, but they're cut off from the rest of the world, so no one else can have it either.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Wakanda too is that they purposely hide themselves from the rest of the world, right? So because they understand that other nations, other lands, other people,
they know they're sitting on a gold mine,
are going to try to go ahead and arrive. Maybe try to get some of that resource. So it's interesting here that now we have our sudden and first foreign allies appearing to us and wanting to go ahead and work with us, but there's just a certain thing that we want. Now, I mean, who's to say how detrimental it would be as far as removing this resource from the island, right? Who knows how it would affect Parity. But again, we're like I said, we're getting a little bit of a better explanation and a better understanding as to what this deliberation is about. Does anybody in chat have any questions? Or I don't have chat up right now.
Going off what was said earlier, Omar mentioned that going back to the Ymir thing.
Yeah.
Tish responded back to him saying, You can't win a game that you don't know you're playing. Ymir had power, no freedom. She was taught. Yeah, she was taught. She was never taught to fight back, only to serve. When all you've known is change, you stop looking for keys. And Tish said that voice makes it out. This voice makes me out every time. Eddie says, Rip Mike. I forget what the cap was for, but he also said, I smell cap. Then Omar responded back to Tish saying, how can that make sense? Despair doesn't arrive in such a simplistic way. If you make Ymir suffering long enough, it makes sense. Tish replies, but it was long enough. It was slow, generational, and set. Her despair was an instant. She was broken over years and made into a tool. You can say it was a few years. And if you really look at it in terms of like her stages of development and where she was in her life, it's not like this is happening to an adult. This is happening to someone who is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like they're single digit age in the prime of their development. So of course, whatever they're taught is going to stick. They don't know where else to look to for the guidance or the teaching. And then Eddie says, very interesting that the closest thing we have to iceberg stone is obsidian.
Very, very interesting. Yeah.
I don't even know what iceberg stone does.
Well,
apparently it's like gas canisters.
I think that's, yeah, I mean,
I don't know how obsidian interacts with that, but it's interesting. And then Omar says, my issue isn't just with the logic of the scenario, but the scenario itself doesn't feed itself to being the reason for everything in the world of giant attack. Well, in terms of that, she was gifted that power because of her suffering that she didn't know she was.
Power.
It was just sheer dumb luck.
That's what essentially attracted King Fritz.
Yeah,
is the power. If
he saw the potential she had, and she was too young to understand it herself, so
if she
altered
never
her to use it for himself.
He would have just fed her to the pigs, or he would have just, killed her on the spot. Who knows, right?
She wouldn't have had kids with him for sure. She would have just been another servant girl.
Yeah, the reason why it's at least, I don't want to say for sure this is the reason, but I mean, it's safe to say that the reason why, he decided to go ahead and try to, or I guess, bear children with her. It's so weird. It makes me honestly.
Yeah, it's kind of gross
because it's like this is a child, but it's because I think he was trying to, have his heirs, his children, also have that ability, have that power,
which he would have even more influence over.
Yeah, he was trying to build an army.
Yeah, Yeah, he was trying to have, which he succeeded.
Yeah.
Great Titan War.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of multiple factors in play, but like in terms of how Ymir just randomly stumbled upon that power, she didn't even understand it herself. Because again, she was a child. You can't even fathom the power you have when you are a child. And Fritz took advantage of her lack of worldly experience to groom her into a potential weapon maker and a weapon herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for chat currently.
So I think even like what Tish had mentioned.
Hey, King Fritz, I hear you like I'm young.
He essentially, I guess, her sole purpose was to obey and to serve. And unfortunately, she continued that same pathway in the paths. She continued to serve, she continued to obey. She was continuously tortured physically and mentally. Don't know what you feel as far as pain over in the paths, but she was handcrafting these titans. She was building each and every one of them.
She was still doing exactly what Fritz told her to do, was to make more.
Yeah.
Keep making more.
So and I understand where you're coming from, Omar, because it does seem very strange that like it should be as simple as just like, no, stop serving. Like, why is she still doing that? And why is she torturing herself like that? And
but she was a slave to her love. She had no freedom.
Yeah, and so it isn't a very difficult concept to kind of understand as far as the story itself. And we all have the questions too of like, why did she continue doing that? Because it really doesn't make sense to any of us, but other than just the fact that like that's unfortunately what she was like brainwashed to do was just to serve. And so the fact that she continued to be a slave, even in death, is part of the story. Like, that's part of the story of Attack on Titan, right? Is that you essentially are kind of a slave to your own environment, a slave to your upbringing, just like even with Eren himself, like, you know, he became a slave to, like,
his hunger for freedom,
a slave to freedom, and what all was brought to him with that kind of slavery to freedom, and that came with, you know, the memories, and it came with, you know, all this different anguish,
a lot of responsibility,
and yeah, even at a young age. That's another thing too.
He's also in his teens.
He was deemed as humanity's last hope at a very young age. Like, he became this Titan at a very young age.
13,
probably was around like 13 or so. I think that maybe even younger when he received the Titan ability.
He was given that title when he plugged the wall. I believe.
Yeah. So, but I understand, Omar, the questions, because I think that's what we were maybe supposed to have. We were supposed to have the questions of, like,
he was 10 years old when he gained his Titan powers.
So yeah. Again, another very young age.
I believe it was 13.
But yeah, I mean, that's still very young, and to have those responsibilities, I mean, it's a lot of like mental anguish for sure.
He was 15 when he was eaten. So that's when he became humanity's last hope, was when he got eaten and he transformed in front of everyone.
Yeah, crazy. All right, so now let's talk about this conversation that Zeke has with Kiyomi.
Yeah,
and Kiyomi talks about how, you know, just the reason why they're there again is because of Zeke, and she and him conversed in secret before they agreed to have this meeting. And interesting that she says that Zeke negotiated on behalf of your island. Now, I don't think that Parody would be very fond of that, considering it wasn't too long ago that Zeke tried to infiltrate the island.
Slaughtered the scout regiment?
Yeah, and Zeke's effect on that island still
lingers.
Yeah.
It hurts Levi, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So that conversation, Zeke himself goes on to show her the ODM gear. And we know he got this ODM gear from, you know, unfortunately, from Mike. And
R.I.P. Mike, as he said.
Yeah, and so Kiyomi, she appears to be aware of this tech.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You know, she
already familiar.
Was kind of like, you know, wait, is that? And that's when Zeke's like,
how do we think she knows this? Is this because this talk probably took place? Well, no. What? How would she know?
That's what I'm trying to think, and I don't know if it's something.
From. Never mind. I was gonna say when Marley got stomped on, but that's after this. That's 2 years later.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this was some sort of tech that they had during the Great Titan War, or
I doubt
probably not.
I doubt it.
And yeah, I don't know.
Let me see.
I'm not sure.
If I can find an answer for us.
But she obviously is well informed. She's aware of this. She was aware of the Iceberg Stone, but she wasn't aware of Mikasa. But it's interesting because Zeke says that that's weird that you recognize this because it's top secret in Marley. Almost like implying like, somebody must have kind of spilled the beans a little bit.
Someone said, I'm on Reddit. She probably had spies all over Marley, hence the suspicious looking guy we see during the Willie McGoth carriage scene. And thus anything Marley discovered was also known to them. I don't think she knew. So maybe they had spies in Marley.
Maybe. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, I mean.
Maybe on Parody.
Could be a plausible reasoning.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of what it's looking like. She probably had spies, either in Marley or in Parody. But I don't think she'd have spies in Parody.
Well, in here, it's almost implied like she found out through Marley because Zeke says like, "How do you know this? This is top secret in Marley." It's almost like saying that that's the only way that she would be aware of it. And that's when Kiyomi decides now, kind of, straighten her face and not try to expose too much now. She stays quiet. And that's when Zeke goes on to explain the ODM gear and the resource, this iceberg stone, and how essentially how rare it is. And he obviously, explains that it's made in Parody. Says this piece doesn't belong to Marley. I procured it myself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He says consider it a gift, and he says that this special type, it's exceedingly rare iceberg stone, and it's only been mined in Parody again. So we understand how rare this material is, this resource. And iceberg stone, is this a stone that is underground in that underground chapel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I figured, and I just wanted to go ahead and kind of just clarify. But that's I guess this could be one of those materials that only come with like AttackOnTitan users.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that could be why Parody is the only one that has it.
Yeah.
But
real quick before we lose it, Omar said endings in business are very difficult and few come with a satisfying ending. Even George R.R. Martin is now running away from Game of Thrones. True.
Yeah.
That's also why AOT got rewritten for the ending too, because the original one was worse. Tish says he cuts out her tongue, murders her people, then rewards her power by making her bear his children, all to pass down the Titan power to his own lineage. So it's just like abuse,
Yeah.
rape for power as proxy of, or under the guise of it being a reward. Like, oh, I love you. I love your power.
Yeah.
But under the tense that he loves her. He broke her so early and deeply, she forgot she could be anything else. Jacob goes, I'd get it for Eren to free her. Someone needs to check up on Chopper, by the way. He's been sleeping long. He's a sleepy boy, bro.
Yeah.
He's just a sleepy little blue-nosed reindeer. And then Tish says, black market business in regards to our ice stone.
Oh, the iceberg stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now...
Yeah, Zeke's over here, like, trying to be, like, coy with his ODM gear that he snatched off of probably a dead scout. And she's just like, I want it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, you know what this fucking is? Shit.
It must be like the fact that if you are some sort of collector of some sort of kind of rare, like historical, like items or whatever it is, to anybody outside of Parody, like an ODM gear with that rare, even if it is just as Zeke says, right? He says should be able to find traces of it inside of that apparatus. Like, even if there are just little traces of that iceberg stone, think about what this would go on, like an open market.
An open market?
Or like
oh,
an
dude.
auction thing and stuff, you know?
That'd be, you can take half my kingdom for that iceberg stone. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Kiyomi now continuing with the deliberation and explaining about Zeke and that conversation. And so she explains, saying that Zeke's proposal was that we ally and assist Parody in exchange to access, not just in exchange for the resource,
A quantity.
it's we now gain access to the resource, right? Because this is going to be
That's a very broad sense to say access to.
So this is what's going to return my nation back to its glory. Now, that sounds very selfish. Sounds almost very one-sided.
Yep.
And it's essentially to kind of explain the details here. What Parody gets is essentially the opportunity to go ahead and catch up with the rest of the world, where, you know, Hizuru gets
To jump ahead.
resource that now, yeah, exactly. It puts them back to the glory that they had.
But you'd also have to admit, in turn, that just means they're on par with Marley, because what Marley's gonna get is gonna be on the same level as what the Osmobito clan's gonna have. So it's like, you tell me what you're building with it, and I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what are they gonna do? Fight all the Titans for it? Fuck no.
No.
Either way, Marley still has cards in sense of they have Titan power. Not Marley. Parody has cards in sense they have Titan power.
Yeah. And so even like, you know,
Like Storage Wars.
Kiyomi, she even says too, like, look, we're aware that we are presenting this offer before even examining, right, the reserves for this resource.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't care how much is left.
Yeah.
Or if there's a lot or if there's a little. We are ready to strike you a deal.
But she slips up a little bit because she goes, we suspect in this modern era that a treasure like Iceburn Stone could change the world and generate a fortune.
Yep.
And that point, it's kind of like, wait a minute. That's when, like, if you're like a representative of parody, you're now realizing that maybe I hold the cards here.
Yeah.
You know, it's
100%.
Wait.
They all realize it.
I'm now becoming aware of how much we actually have as far as this little negotiation tool here. Like, let's maybe come to an agreement on different terms, you know? So it's like, oh, hold on. First of all, the idea that Zeke is speaking on our behalf, not a fan of that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we even mentioned it. Yeah, Eren, Pixis, Mikasa, Historia, and Hanji all are like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, exactly.
We see what it is.
Exactly. We talk about Mikasa. She's like, well, sounds like we know who the real hope for Hizuru is.
Yeah.
And then Hanji's like, well, Yelena did say that Azumibitos are money grubbers. And then Pixis is like, it's kind of weird that, you know, they decide to visit a dangerous island. I doubt that they would take that risk unless there would be money to be made. And then they're all, again, they're understanding why Hizuru is here to begin with.
Yeah.
But Historia has a question. She says, so Zeke asked you to assist us.
That's not Historia's voice.
What would you assist us with? And this is now where we get to some more of the juicy little fine print details, right?
We're looking deep into this contract now.
Yeah, and so she says, Kiyomi, well, I'm sure you're aware that he has created this plan to protect Eldia and the world. He says, we're here because this plan can only succeed with our assistance, Hizuru's assistance. And, you know, there's 3 different course of actions, right? Which it would allow you to defend yourselves. Interesting here. 3
like a safety clause.
Different actions. First one, right? Starting with the rumbling. But it's not the full rumbling. It's only partial rumbling. It's just to instill fear and show that we are to be respected and feared. That we're not, you know, some small little island that you could just bully around.
Yeah.
Right? So that
it's
is
basically them setting up saying, don't fucking come for our resource.
Yeah.
You can't get to it if you want to by force.
Yeah. So the idea was just to be, again, to unleash just a small fraction of the rumbling with Titans in the walls. And it's just enough to display the potential. It's almost like enough to just earn the respect from the world.
To show power.
Right? And that will buy time to modernize and strengthen the army. All right? And then she says, from then, at that point on, the rumbling would be unnecessary. All right? So that's kind of an important detail. So mini rumbling, strengthen the army and resources, and then no rumbling. Okay? And she, again, she's 100 years behind the rest of the world. Hizuru's going to help catch a parody up. Until then, they must shake the earth by maintaining the founding Titan. And this is how we get to the real juicy details here.
Yep.
Shake the earth by maintaining the founding Titan. AKA, you must keep a hold of that power. The moment that you no longer have founding Titan, we don't want to be a part of this anymore.
The moment you lose Eren and he runs off.
Yeah. So that's one part of that.
Yeah.
The other part is also having a Titan of royal blood. Now, who... Raise your hand if you're a member of royal blood.
Oh, me. Yeah, wait. Oh.
the one person inside of this meeting deliberation room, right? The new queen of parody, and that would be Historia, and everybody else knows it.
I mean, if you're smart, wouldn't you be like, isn't Zeke Yeager of royal blood?
Well, I think that.
Well, they don't know that, do they? They don't know he's son of Dinah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good point.
We're gonna assume that they don't know that, because otherwise they would have already had that solution in mind. And we just keep Zeke.
Yeah, and keep in mind that this is a conversation that's taken place 2 years ago. So I think that you're right. Probably they don't know.
They don't know that Zeke can just have a kid.
Yeah. So, but speaking of kid, that's another interesting little stipulation here.
In there.
So not only right, Eren or maintaining the founding Titan, right? Having a Titan of royal blood. Again, where's the royal blood? Okay, so we have Eren and we have Historia. Okay.
Yep.
Now, another part of that is this is third part of this plan. So Zeke will pass on the Beast Titan to an individual who has royal blood. Again, raise your hand if you have royal blood.
Oh, me.
Okay, all right. So you're going to get the Beast Titan.
Fuck.
All right. And then you must spend 13 years of your life. You must live the entire 13 years. She goes, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I get to go and survive. Oh, I didn't finish my sentence, right? The 13 years of your life spent bearing as many children as possible.
Wait, what now?
Yeah, so that's where she's like, okay.
I like girls.
So in other words, all right. So Eren, Historia, you're going to get the Beast Titan, and you both must bear as many children. No, not necessarily. I mean,
I like girls.
Playing, just messing around with the whole idea of Eren being the father. But Historia essentially has to go ahead and bear children, as many of them as possible. Right, that doesn't mean it doesn't have to be with Eren, right? The moment that she becomes a Beast Titan. Is that true, Zach? That Historia doesn't have to bear children with Eren. The moment that she becomes the Beast Titan, she could just bear children.
She doesn't even need a Titan. She can just bear children of royal blood.
Because at that point on, then that means that it'll just continue that cycle of just transferring of the powers,
exactly. Right? It's just like what the Fritz family was doing beforehand. Jacob goes, me, raise his hand. Tish goes, damn, why they want him to be submissive and breedable?
Yeah.
No voice. Shh. We like the voice. Yeah. Jacob says, sign me up for AOT, huz. Who is that? Oh, that's Eddie. Eddie says, Lamau, I like girls.
I like girls.
Not even the lesbian safe.
See, this is what kind of upsets me and bugs me about Historia's Ymir's decision.
Yep.
Like, this is a moment where she very much could be a part of this deliberation, and she can also be expressing her, dissatisfaction.
No, she's already Porco now.
Yeah, she's already gone. But, and in my version, where she decides to stay and protect Historia,
he's in a spiral now.
This would be a moment here where she definitely pushes back.
Oh, 100%.
But also, it wouldn't matter because Historia herself, she decided she's gonna rise to the occasion here. All right, she thought about it. You can see here that she has like this look.
You know what? I could throw back.
Yeah. And you know what? We talked about it. What kind of Beast Titan do you think she would be?
A bunny.
A bunny. I think she would be a farm animal.
No, a bunny. Those motherfuckers breed.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you got a point there. She'd be a freaking.
She's soft and dainty. Well, I couldn't see it. What else are you gonna be? A fucking guinea pig or a hamster? Gotta think dainty and small.
Yeah, bunny is a good point. There hasn't been any kind of anything from her backstory that has gone to indicate anything animal related other than any farm. So I guess maybe a
pig would be crazy.
Pig. Oh, Queen Historia becomes a freaking pig Beast Titan. Oh
Ew.
Man. Yeah, interesting.
Throwback is crazy. A deer. I could see a deer.
Deer,
like a
yes,
fawn.
So anyways, so that's now like the proposal here. That's what the negotiation here. Again, negotiation that Parody themselves had no part of. Zeke was negotiating on behalf of Parody. Interesting there.
Fucking wild. Yeah, you can have their queen, I guess.
Yeah. So that
breed their queen.
That is the proposal. We see hesitancy. Again, Eren is looking like he's just traumatized again, right? Everybody's worried about it. Everybody.
He makes Zeke and Historia cousins.
What does Hunter say? That even if we get advanced weapons, will we really need? Would we really stop needing the rumbling? It's a valid question.
Yeah.
Right. She said even if we end up catching up with the advanced weaponry, are you certain that we won't need to do the rumbling, or is this going to be another little part of it that you guys sneak up on us with, where you'd be like, you know what, actually, we're going to need you guys to go and do the rumbling?
Yeah.
You know, so I guess it is a valid question.
Wrong. I need you to destroy the planet for me.
Turns out your weapons weren't enough. Sorry, we did our part, but yeah, you guys are going to have to go ahead and use the rumbling. Like, wait, what?
Omar says, well, guys, hope you have a good day. I apologize if I upset anyone. See you later. Take care. You didn't upset anybody.
No, Omar, don't worry about it.
Not
like I said,
all.
we like the questions, this and that. We understand kind of like the questions as far as just with Ymir, because there's so much unknown with that. So, yeah, no worries, man. And thank you for joining us, and appreciate it. And have a safe 4th of July. Yeah, hopefully we get to go ahead and see you back and chat with us.
Have a good night, brother. Enjoy the fireworks.
All right. Okay. So, again, Hanji's asking questions. So, Hunter says, if we choose to rely on it, we'll have to continue the practice of Titan inheritance for generations. It's true. That's now kind of like old, history stuff, how they decide to go.
And this is all going down in her head. She's not saying this out loud.
Yeah. I see how it could protect us for the time being, but is that enough of an excuse for us to push this problem onto our descendants? And again, she looks at Historia, and she says, of course it isn't, and yet. All right, so, yeah, Hanji, she's thinking this through.
That and yet is like a kind of scary thought to have.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
like we might always need this kind of, like we might have to do this for this.
It's almost like well,
like
what other
like
choice
having
do
a
we
nuke
have?
in the background? Like, do I keep like nuke weapons? Do I keep this world-ending device in my back pocket just as like a precaution, which most people ended up doing in our world? So,
I mean, also too in this negotiation, in this scenario, parity holds the power of the founding, the beast. Right? The ability to have the coordinate, the ability to use the rumbling.
It's not even about the beast. They just have a founding and royal blood. Like, that's all they need is a founding and royal blood. I think Zeke's throwing in the beast to kind of misguide them in a sense, where it's like a little bit of deception. Like, he's putting more value into the beast titan than really needs to be, just to kind of give himself more value in the meantime. Like, he's an asset.
Yeah. And in this negotiation that, he is laying down his own life. Granted, he understands that he only has a few years left to live anyway.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like a bluff.
Alrighty. So then Historia. Oh, Historia.
Bold of you to assume he's American. What if he was an island brethren?
Maybe he is.
Could be.
Could be.
You know what? You're so right. He could be.
Either way, be safe.
I mean, you're right. It is 4th of July. It's just us, huh? Hey, fireworks are cool. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe he has fireworks going on near him.
Alrighty. So yeah, Historia. Historia goes on to essentially understand stipulations. She declares herself ready. Says, if the rumbling is essential to our survival, I'll do my part. I'm willing to inherit the Beast Titan from Zeke.
Yep.
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Got good resolve.
Yeah, the queen's not afraid. Historia is willing to go ahead and step up, but there's somebody that is unwilling and who is still standing in the way of Historia.
Yep.
That would be Eren.
Because he secretly loves her. She looks so beautiful to him.
Yeah, and so, Eren, he declares, his usual Eren self at this time, where he's talking about, like, look, certain things aren't worth, like, what do you say, salvation, right? Zeke trying to buy our salvation at the price of just broken walls, right? Trampled lands, referring to the rumbling, and children bred to be slaughtered like livestock.
Yep.
Then to hell with your little plan, right? This is a familiar Eren that we are aware of. Okay, Eren, he's expressing this concern. He's fighting for humanity here, and Historia, she's beginning to kind of be surprised, because who knows how long it's been before they saw this kind of Eren.
Maybe she's kind of like, getting some butterflies. Like, oh my God, he's protecting me. And
Maybe.
He's not letting them objectify me. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then so he continues saying staking her survival on the threat of the rumbling is a dangerous move. That's a lot different than what he said last week to Armin.
Yep.
And then he goes, so before we commit to it, we should try to find another way. That sounds very much like Armin.
That was also 2 years in the future when he said that to Armin, so.
He goes, let's use what time we have to look at our options. Interesting. So, yeah. This is all craziness. Again, the idea that you get your first foreign allies to arrive, and then you're trying to go ahead and find out how we can negotiate about, us, parity, advancing, in the world and trying to catch up with the rest of the world. And all of a sudden they're like, we're willing to help you out, but actually we're going to need this very rare, element.
Yeah.
This very rare material. It's going to help us, be better. And, it turns out you guys have some very important things like the rumbling. Go ahead and try doing that. Do that to go ahead and get respect from the rest of the world, and then we'll help you guys go ahead and advance your technology. Get your army stronger, and then you guys don't have to worry about the rumbling anymore. But
and then keep doing exactly what your previous rulers were doing.
Yeah, there you go. And again, raise your hand if you're a member of Royal Blood.
Oh, me.
There you go.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
Oh.
So very, very interesting.
Eren just always has to go against the crowd, huh? Motherfucker just can't keep to one side, huh?
So we have one more part that we're gonna go ahead and talk about, and then we'll get to our final little
closing
final thoughts and all that. So Zach, whenever you're ready.
Awesome. We continue the episode with Hanji and Eren's conversation back at the prison cell. Hanji tells Eren,
I felt the same sense of urgency that you did, Eren. That said, I still don't get why you acted on your own. You pushed our island into a war we aren't ready to fight. Why? Did you stop caring about Historia?
Eren informs Hanji.
I've taken the Warhammer Titan's power. Its hardening ability allows me to build structures from thin air or carve them into earth and stone, which means you can never build a prison deep or strong enough to hold me in against my will. I can leave this cell anytime I want. And since I have the Founding Titan, you can't kill me.
Eren now walks closer to Hanji.
You might threaten to kill Zeke, but that's not a real option either. So, tell me, Hanji, is there anything you actually can do?
Eren now reaches through the jail cell and grabs a hold of Hanji's jacket collar.
If you know something I don't, then let's hear it. If you've got something up your sleeve, then tell me what it is!
Eren becomes irate that he actually began to glow with a gold aura with shockwaves around him. Hanji is freed from Eren's grasp as Hanji yells out in a panic.
Hands off, you pervert! Ever the rebellious teen, huh? Grow up! Idiot.
Hanji walks away as Eren just stares from his cell. Hanji, now away from Eren, all alone, drops to the ground and says,
Erwin, this is the one time you bet on the wrong horse. Why did you ever think that I could be commander?
We now fast forward to a much different scene. In this scene, we can see a very numb-looking Historia sitting out on the porch of a farm. Historia appears to have lost her spark, her fire, her glow in her eyes. A mysterious man, a farmer, approaches her to tell her, very much concerned for her, "Why don't you come in, Historia?" We now notice that Historia is very much pregnant, sitting outside on a rocking chair, watching the sun begin to set. You need to take better care of yourself. To be continued.
Whoa.
We don't even see his fucking face.
No, we have no idea who this mystery farmer is, but he's looking out for her. But again, it's very important to note that Historia does not look like Historia here. The Historia that we talked about, where she was willing to go ahead and be noble and take upon this responsibility and sacrifice herself for the better of this island.
Looks like she didn't know what she got herself into.
This queen
sitting in this rocking chair, just waiting for time to pass, watching the sun set,
thinking about her baby daddy that's in jail.
She looks very numb. She just looks like almost like defeated. She just looks, like you said, like she was almost like conned into doing something that maybe she wasn't fully prepared to do. And again, raise your hand. Royal blood. Historia.
Me.
Founding Titan. Oh, okay. Eren.
That's me.
Yeah, child. Maybe as quickly as you can.
What? With
And then
with
here
him?
she is, sitting on the porch, very much pregnant, right?
I did that.
We don't know what.
I did that.
Very much pregnant with a character that we see, or that's supposed to be maybe the father that we have no fucking clue what he looks like.
I'm gonna go straight to my child.
I know.
And my baby mama.
Yeah, very, very interesting. But let's.
That's crazy. Tish says, honestly, even if I wasn't a royal blood, I'd volunteer. Jacob says, W. Aaron. Tish says, damn, I wish he'd grab me like that. Hair behind ears. Eddie goes, oh no. Eddie goes, mystery aura farmer, lol. Well, I was like, hey. I'm just speaking facts here. Tish goes, the D wasn't good. Now she had to go through with childbirth. I'd be mad too. That's crazy. How do you know it was bad? Actually,
You know what's crazy?
probably was bad because he was probably like instant contact. We've talked about this before. Man, the memories.
You know what's crazy is that like what Jacob mentioned about Old Testament and stuff, right? Well, let's continue kind of the same similarities when it comes to just the birth of Jesus, right? Mm-hmm. So there was the Virgin Mary, right? There was Joseph, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And then
The farmer.
there was this God that planted the seed, Jesus,
The Holy Spirit.
the Holy Spirit, into
the Holy
Virgin
Spirit.
Mary. And so we have this farmer, right, who's kind of like this, I believe Joseph was a shepherd, right?
Yeah.
And so we have Virgin Mary.
Carpenter, my bad.
Okay. No, Jesus was a carpenter, right?
They both were.
Okay,
Well,
you're-
Joseph was a shepherd, and then they moved to Nazareth, and he became a carpenter. Taught Jesus how to be a carpenter.
Okay. So I think there's a little bit of a similarity there where it could be like, the Holy Spirit, the founding Titan, and then you have like kind of like the father figure that maybe really isn't the biological father, farmer, and then you have the Virgin Mary,
Historia.
I kind of I think connecting the dots a little bit there, but you know what? Hasn't been confirmed, but again, Eren's death, birth of child, same eyebrows, same eyes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
Tish goes, of course it was bad. Eddie goes, but why was Eren being a peeping Tom with Hanji? And then Tish goes, because Hanji bad as hell. Hanji bad. Hanji a little baddie.
Oh shit, you guys are crazy. So let's talk about this conversation. This is a continuation of this kind of very kind of quick conversation that Hanji and Eren had. And again, to go ahead and kind of reflect on how it started, Hanji was listening to Eren talking about fight. So fight, right? That's okay, right? And so Hanji was curious, right? She said, you said it twice. Does it mean the same thing, or is it two separate fights? What's going on there? And so she talked about her now lack of trust for Eren, and now here in this kind of continuation here, they are reflecting, I guess, maybe on that deliberation where Eren decided to speak up for Historia, as here Hanji says, I felt the same sense of urgency that you did, Eren. She also had a
But yet.
So Hanji says, that said, I still don't understand why you acted on your own. Why you had to go over to Liberio on your own. Over to Marley on your own. Right? You pushed our island into a war that we aren't ready to fight. Did you stop caring about Historia? Again with this Historia talk. Historia at this point here is very much pregnant.
And she knows.
So at this point, it's like Hanji's like, did you just
stop caring about the mother of your child?
Pretty much. Tish goes, there was no immaculate conception, but to Eren, the process was immaculate. And he says, I'm not going to go there, but the way she interrupts him, though. But Eren asked her what she got up her sleeve because he knew that would he knew what would happen.
Interesting. Let's talk about that. So with those words, right?
Classic baby daddy energy from Tish.
Eren threatens Hanji, essentially saying he's acquired a new Infinity Stone, that the walls here, you can't go ahead and confine me to there's no prison strong enough to hold me in. So, look, I'm here out of my own free will, and I can walk out if I want to. That was the threat, essentially, right? And then now, to what was mentioning here in chat, Eren, he actually starts walking closer to Hanji. Getting real personal here now, right?
Yeah.
And
it's just because he wanted to grab her.
He goes, you might threaten to kill Zeke, but that's not a real option either. Right? We understand Zeke is on the island now.
Because he put so much value into the Beast Titan.
Yeah, I mean...
I feel like that's also where that comes from, is you can't kill the Beast Titan. You need the Beast Titan.
Yeah. So, he said that's not an option, like you were just saying. You know, so... is there anything that you can actually do? Right? And this is where he goes out there and he grabs a hold of Hanji.
Yeah.
If you know something, then let's hear it. Right? If you got something up your sleeve, then tell me. Right? He becomes so upset that like he builds up that kind of Titan glow. Right?
I feel like that's him. That's like a subconscious reaction of him being like, if you know something I fucking don't, because I know everything, tell me. Because I'm doing what has to be done. Mm-hmm. So if you got something else, I'd love to hear it. Mm. I feel like it's more like he's frustrated at her lack of understanding, which no one else could have.
It could also be like condescending and like maybe a little bit of sarcasm because, like you said,
trying to sever the ties.
He has seen everything. He knows how it's going to play out. So it's almost like a condescending, like, do you have something else in mind? Because guess what? It's not going to fucking work. Yeah. You know? Like, whatever you... Look, you're here. Whatever you want to say, it doesn't fucking matter because guess what?
The ball's already rolling.
He said there's nothing you can do to stop it now. Yep. All right? And as a matter of fact, you know, we can damn well sure and speculate that he knows what's going to happen with Hanji too.
Yep.
So...
He definitely knows.
You know, it's kind of like...
He knew when Sasha was going to die.
Do you know what you can do? Do you have something in mind? Is there a plan that you want to go ahead and try to do? Tell me. Because guess what? It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And, you know, craziness there.
Barbecue.
But, yeah, Hanji calls him a perv, tells him to grow up, and walks away. And now this part here, it's kind of... It's difficult because... Hanji being the now commander of the scouts, and Hanji, we've seen, cares about the scouts.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hanji's doing the best she can, or Hanji's doing the best that they can to, you know, essentially just fill his shoes and you know, this was a role that was kind of bestowed upon her.
I'd argue thrusted.
That was, you know, a man who was willing to go ahead and take many risks. Mm-hmm. But this was a man that still, regardless of those risks, went ahead and brought back his scouts. Right, he was the squad leader that brought back his scouts. He became the commander and stuff, and he learned real quick that what it took to go ahead and be a commander, because again, he had a selfish goal of his own. Yeah, but
the truth.
Yeah, and Erwin, you know, he's a character that, you know, in comparison to a lot of other leaders, he was very, very strong, and it's hard to kind of just like, you know, walk into those shoes. Mm-hmm. But again, we've seen from Hanji, like Hanji, has stepped up to the plate. She, you know,
obviously isn't afraid of growth, and she's not afraid to also take risks and chances and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But here, to see her literally just like drop and just like think about this of all times to go ahead and have this kind of thought process, right? Where she's like essentially saying like, Erwin, you like, why did you choose me? Like, to think that, you know, I could be commander. You know, this could be the wrong time, or this could be the one time that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
bet on the wrong horse this one.
Yeah, and so it's difficult to see Hanji like this in this state of mind. And again, this could just be the mind fuckery that Eren's able to go ahead and do. But yeah, craziness. And then again, we're left with freaking Historia.
Yeah. Being a mom, to be
not sitting on a throne. I will say that.
Rocking chair.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Tish also said, do you think it was a last-ditch effort after trying so hard but losing Sasha? I think, kind of like what we were saying prior, I feel like more of that situation was Eren coming to terms with, I guess, yes, in a last-ditch effort, it's him giving up on trying to save everyone and just being like, okay, I'll just do what needs to be done. I'll follow these memories instead of trying to fight against them.
In a way, now it's like he is the founder Ymir
barbecue
that is a slave to, you know, this king, this deity, this you know, this other Eren that is essentially now controlling things. And you know,
new Ymir.
It's like one of those things where now he's just a slave to, like you said, to freedom. And in order to acquire that freedom, the rumbling must take place, or certain things that must happen. And Eren now he doesn't have really much of a say so.
Nope.
You know,
he's just there for the ride at this point.
And you know, it's kind of, yeah, it's a crazy thought process for sure. It's crazy to think that, like, you know, I always think about that moment where Lexi went on Reddit and essentially talked about that specific question in that moment was kind of like the eye-opening revelation of like, oh shit, like everything that's been kind of spoken about and shown to me is all gonna happen.
Yeah,
there's nothing I can do to change it. You know, it's like, wow, I'm really not in control. It doesn't matter what I do. It's all a lost cause. You know? And so at that point now,
that's when he loses his freedom.
Yeah. So
that's when he becomes a slave to the freedom he desires.
Yeah. So craziness there, and but you know, we'll go ahead and we'll continue to find out more about the story. We'll see how these specific details, how they continue just to really like get to that line. How they really kind of just get to that finish line. How we know the series ends, you know. Like I said, these are very important details to the story, and these are details that, like, I myself am kind of like just recalling as we're talking about season 4 and stuff. You know, like getting a better understanding about this meeting with, you know, Hizuru and stuff. Like, because I had so many questions with, you know, obviously with Kiyomi and their involvement with, you know, this whole thing in parody and all that, and what they're looking for. And obviously they want that Iceberg Stone, but also too is like understanding that, damn, like, was parody really given a choice?
Nope.
Like, they weren't, you know. And so it's interesting to go ahead and get the information again and get a better understanding of it. And I hope that, you know, for anybody listen to our breakdowns and listen to the, you know, the podcast, or if you're live with us, like, I hope that you guys do appreciate, you know, trying to get a better understanding of these things that are happening in season 4. Because again, like, for me personally, as I was watching them live when the episodes were dropping, I felt like I was watching. I was trying to go ahead taking the information, but there's a lot that, you know, I forgot about.
Content-packed season.
Yeah.
So it's nice to go ahead and talk about it, and again, get a better just kind of understanding and explanation.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of moving parts in season 4 that are easy to miss.
Yeah. What's funny is I like when we go into our spirals about, Eren and Historia.
It's one of my favorite topics.
Because those are moments where I think about, like, when the AI overview of our podcast, and there was that moment where I was like, they get into, like, speculation and theories, but they're often incorrect, whatever it is. That I'm like, it's moments like that where I'm like, you know what?
I love proving AI wrong.
It's so funny because, like, we do go ahead and get into our tangents. We do do our different realities and stuff, different storylines, whatever. And obviously, there's no truth to them. They're our own little storytelling.
Yeah.
But there are certain things where I'm like, there's a lot of evidence about Historia and Eren there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So AI can think that we're wrong, but
we may be wrong about a couple of things, but not this.
Yeah. Pretty certain. I remember I was like, damn, you know what, dude? I don't know. That's kind of out there when you kind of present the idea. And I was like, I don't know. But then all of a sudden I was like, oh, shit. There was a certain moment in
Then you started seeing all the
There's
details.
a certain moment in the script where I was like, that's kind of odd. And then I remember there's another moment I was like, oh, shit. And that's when I remember the podcast. I was like, you know what? I'm a believer.
Yeah, we converted him.
I'm a believer. So now, yeah, there's just too many.
That was almost as good of a conversion as getting you to watch One Piece.
Yeah, and then look, now we're out here drafting our freaking...
Now we're drafting our crews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, too, I will go ahead and be posting the crews and Tish, did you want me withhold from posting your crew?
Even though you have Kaido as your captain, she also said, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck.
Hey,
it's probably a fucking duck.
I think's a duck. For sure.
You sure you don't want your crew posted out there?
Your name will not be on it. It'll just be like whose crew is better.
Yeah. We don't want to have any bias in it.
Or did you want it just to go ahead and be just 1v1 me and Zach?
You're not fucking winning. My captain already beat your captain. She said, you know what? Post it.
All right.
And Jacob said, post mine.
Okay. I'll go ahead and I'll post I'll post the 4 teams. I'll go ahead and
which crew wins in a free for all?
Yeah, I'll just be like, who drafted the best crew? And then it was just that. That's what it was. It's draft. Obviously, yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that, buddy boy. All right. Got yourself a dead captain there and all that.
Dead vice cap. Okay, technically my captain did die, but he came back to life. Fuck you. My captain had 2 lives, and my vice captain already lived through 1.
Yeah, honestly, I might have a dead person too. So
I also have another dead crew member.
Yeah, but he's dead. But he's, that's his thing.
That's his thing. He's a skeleton.
That's his thing. Let's see. I do have a dead person. So whatever. I have 2, maybe 3. Technically maybe 4 dead people, so yay. You know what? The teams were cool.
Teams were lit, man. Hey.
Time to put my coding course to work. Gonna pull a Jacob. No, release the bots. Get out of here with that. I swear.
Cheater.
If you win, honestly, respect. Then you put in the work, Tish. If you win.
Read that code loud and clear.
We got our code. We got our code. You want to go ahead and read that code for us? Let's get the code. Let's get the code out right now.
This week's code is code thankful, because I'm thankful for all of our friends.
Amen to that, man. I'm so thankful for all of you guys, and it's fun to go ahead and just hang out with you guys and do stuff like this. I know that we're covering Attack on Titan, but it's cool to go ahead and just do little fun things like whether it's back then we just did like the little Jeopardy stuff or whatever, or even if we just do a fun little just kind of One Piece
fast food
draft
lists.
What's funny is Zach went ahead and brought up an idea too, because I was like, hey, guess what? There's names in here. What do you think we're gonna do today? And then Zach brought up an idea where I was like, that'd be fun to go and do too. It'd be to draft our own like Levi squad.
Yeah, draft our own squads in AOT.
So it'd be like AOT characters, and then we just kind of randomly pull and all that, and maybe we can go ahead and kind of give a structure and give them roles.
We can get like a captain, vice captain. They're just scouts.
Yeah, so that'd be cool. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but
that'd be good. If you guys would like to see that, let us know. We can do that too.
And there's a lot of very strong characters over in Attack on Titan. We all know that.
Look at us giving Ronnie more work to do. Thanks, admin. You're the best.
Zach will pull flock.
Fuck no.
This is for me at this rate. That's what she said.
That's fine.
Oh shit.
Self-saving fingers.
I think that's safe to say if anybody pulls Eren, then just be like, oh shit.
And Jacob says, I want Tish, Eddie, AJ, and me.
Oh,
that'd be cool. Yeah. That'd be a solid. That's a solid
who's
squad
captain,
right there.
though, and who's vice captain? That was the real question.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll to help with I appreciate you, Pickle Man.
Fuck off. Pickle hater.
I think, what do you think, Zach? To go ahead and help with the pirate cruise, it'd be better to go ahead and just kind of have like maybe a picture for each. I'll see if I can do that.
I got let me send you these. I got a picture of mine and Tish's too. I saw you took pictures of the notes. And I also have all the teams on my notes app.
All right.
So I could also just send you screenshots of those too.
Yeah. I got to figure out how to go ahead and just get like to fit everything over.
I can show you. It's
to get all the characters and stuff next to the names.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the part where, don't you think it'd be good to go ahead and kind of have their faces or something?
Nah, that'd be tough.
Yeah.
It just ended up being pretty small.
It's probably better just to go ahead and just put the names, huh? Okay.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you don't know, look it up.
Yeah. Either way, we'll go ahead and we'll post that. I'll see if I can get that posted tomorrow. But other than that, guys, that's all I got.
Ending off on the greatest theme song. Ending off on the greatest theme song of all time. AJ, can you bump this for me real quick?
You got it. That's it, guys. That's all we got for you, and appreciate you guys again for all of our friends to go ahead and stick around with us. And I know that we go ahead and we stream late, and it means the world to us that you all hang out with us, and I want you guys to know that I really do love you guys, and I really look forward to linking up with you guys every single week and doing this and just hanging out, talking about Attack on Titan, and it means a lot to me. So just huge shout out to you guys. This weekend, tomorrow, for anybody that celebrates, 4th of July, or even just in general, just with like this weekend, I want everybody to go ahead and just please be safe. Just be smart, have fun. But again, can't stress enough, just please be safe and be smart.
Watch out for other drivers.
Yeah, for sure. Watch out for Adam Driver.
That's also very scary.
So, again, you guys are the best.
You guys are pretty kick-ass. You guys are all right, I guess.
Yeah.
I like when you guys show up or whatever.
Hey, that's like a little chopper thing, right?
Stop! You're not gonna make me like you just because you compliment me.
What did you say? Like you big dummy or something like that, or
you big dummy.
But yeah,
in my Historia voice.
But that's all I got for you guys. Spread the love and positivity. Hate, love. I love you guys, and hopefully get to see you guys next week. And Lexi will be back next week. Woo! So Lexi will be back. Excited to go ahead and hear about her adventure over in the Philippines, and it'll be fun. So until then, you guys just enjoy the rest of your week and have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Oh yeah, I'm out.
Awesome. Ephesians 4:16. From him the whole body, joined and held together by every supporting ligament, grows and builds itself up in love as each part does its work. Love you guys. Amen. We hate. We love. Enjoy your guys' weekend. For those of us who are in America, be safe with the 4th of July out there. Be careful about other drivers at night on your way back home. Love you guys. Bye.